Alrighty, so up next, starting right now, we have Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door with Yoshizilla. Take it away, guys.
All right. Are we ready to start? Are we all ready to start?
Should be ready to go. Here's.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, young Z.
Thanks, man.
Alrighty, welcome to Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, the second game in the Paper Mario series, and sort of the last full-fledged RPG that they went with.
So this is the category any percent Japanese. The English and Japanese category are split due to glitches that are patched on the English/PAL version, making about an hour difference. So might as well show off the faster category.
Yeah, so this is the fastest way to do the game. A lot of the glitches that have been found in the last few years that have made this game so fast were found originally on the Japanese version. Some of them later did have variants that were put into the that were found in the English version, but originally it was a split that made the game like significantly faster. Like after there was over an hour difference, the categories split. I'll do my best to try and like just give the basics of the story because I understand not everyone in chat can read Japanese and not everyone has played this game, more importantly. But essentially the whole premise of this game is Mario gets a map from the princess who found it in this random like scallywag sea town on the edge of the Mushroom Kingdom called Rogueport.
Yeah.
And so he's been tasked with exploring or figuring out what this map is all about by the princess.
So in terms of what chapters we complete, we only get 3 crystal stars in the entire run. So, you know, we like to go fast, so we're just going to cut like a lot of the game out. We're going to be doing chapter 1, 2, part of 3. We're going to be doing half of 7, and really we're going to go to chapter 8, but then we're going to skip the entire thing and, you know, beat the final boss.
Yeah, this game is sequence broken to hell and back because of just all the different types of glitches that have been found on the Japanese version. Some of them have had quite an interesting history in which like a lot of theory crafting has gone into this game. Like big shout outs to the guys who have, you know, helped find a lot of the glitches in this game, like Malio, Solidified Gaming.
And really tall.
Really tall. I'll be shouting them out a little bit more tomorrow during Partners in Time as well. So this guy here is Crump. He's kind of trying to get information out of this Goomba who was mentioning something called the Crystal Stars, which we mentioned briefly earlier. So we step into her aid, and this kind of is just symbolic of what goes on in Rogueport, of people just trying to pick fights in the streets. So the basic combat system of this game is turn-based. You attack, they attack, so on and so forth. The big thing about the Paper Mario series and Mario RPG series in general is action commands, where when you do an attack, if you press a button at the right time or do this special input, you can increase your damage. This game added it has a guard, which was in the original Paper Mario, which we ran at Calithon last year. But also, you can do a super guard, which is a 3-frame button press of the B button, in which case you will take no damage and any physical attack will be countered for 1 damage.
Yeah, we won't be using the super guard too much. We will be using it for a fight in Chapter 2, but we don't really use super guarding that much because super guarding is actually different in the Japanese version compared to the English version. Some attacks from Shadow Queen in general, you actually can't super guard on the Japanese version, but you can on the English version. There's a whole like list of Japanese and English differences that you can find on the Thousand Year Door speedrun website. So if you're interested in looking at the list, then speedrun.com/TTYD.
Yeah, so this Goomba's name is Goombella, and she's here to thank us for basically getting her out of a mess. The enemy that we fought there, Crump, decided, he's like, hey, you messed with the wrong guys, and decided to swarm us. Of course, they're all kind of idiots, so we just snuck by. Anyway, Toadsworth is here to tell us that the princess has gone missing. What a surprise. It didn't be a Mario game without that. Also, this cutscene in the background,
Yeah, this.
it happens on its own. You kind of have to wait it out. There's a lot of funny little background events.
Yeah, this is the only one that just has something going on in the background. So if you mash the text fast, you still have to wait for the background cutscene to kind of be done before you can advance. So something that sucks about really every Paper Mario game besides Paper Mario is you have to actually mash text. So the way I'm mashing text is I'm basically just mashing A and B, because you advance text with A and B. I can just mash A or B, but it's better to just get more inputs on screen by mashing A and B.
So Goombella decided to thank us and join us in figuring out the treasure map. So here we're going to take a little detour over to the west side. We're going to need to come back here later, but you need to at least wait until the end of Chapter 1. And since we're here, we might as well get this out of the way. So this woman here lost her contact lens, and we ended up stepping on it and breaking it. And so because she really gets angry at us for doing that, she blocks off the west side of town. And so we need to figure out a way to order a contact lens. This is required for moving on in the third chapter of the game, which we will have to start in order to progress through the game at some point. So you talk to this toad, and he says he can special order a contact lens, but he's not going to get us that for a while. We also need to come to the shop anyway to get a Fright Mask here. Fright Mask allows us to, in certain encounters, well, basic encounters, just, shoo away all the enemies and scare them off. It's quicker than, doing attacks.
So we're going to hit the save block here because it's faster if you're going to save in a run to just hit the save block and not go through the dialogue of Goombella saying, hey, you need to save, Mario. You could game over. Currently, right now, in all RTA runs, we do save at least once for Palace Skip. Some runs go for the risk of not saving, but it just puts in a huge luck factor, and your run can just die instantly.
So Goombella told us about this guy. His name is Professor Frankly. He is a Goomba professor, basically, and he's been researching the 1,000-Year Door, which is buried underneath the sewers of the town that we're in, Rogueport. Yes, it doesn't recognize Mario. There's a lot of comical cutscenes here.
Yeah, it's
just
prologue.
This is the great Mario. It's like, Mario who? And Mario's just like.
Yeah, but since we're in prologue, there's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of tutorials. Luckily, it's cut in half in this game compared to PM64. In PM64, prologue is 20 minutes. In this game,
but we love prologue, right?
Oh, true. So coming up is a tutorial that's pretty brutal to skip. If you mash A or B, you'll select to take the tutorial. So you have to input up for to avoid the tutorial. So hopefully, all right, I avoid the tutorial. We're all good.
Tutorials are like the bane of Mario RPGs.
And that's the only tutorial that does that. The other tutorials I can just mash B in order to select no.
All right, so this is sort of more of a tutorial fight on how different types of enemies work. There's the basic Goomba, which has 2 HP. Actually, all of these Goombas have 2 HP, but they're a little different. There's a spiky Goomba. He does 1 more damage per attack, which since damage numbers are really low in this game, that does make a difference. And then there's the aerial Goomba, the Paragoomba, who you have to jump on. Or you can just use a Fright Mask and scare them all off. Just marginally faster than just fighting them. And slightly cheaper than using a Fire Flower.
Yeah. Pretty much any Goomba will run away from the Fright Mask.
I always thought it was interesting that you could literally scare away the tutorial fight.
Yeah. So coming up is pretty much the hardest room of prologue because there's a bunch of Goombas that can screw you over. Hopefully, all right, got past that one. That's probably the hardest one. And this guy can be a little annoying. So I'm going to play it safe and just lure him. All right, we got to go through that room again. But at least we got through it once. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to collect a star piece there. We're going to need to get 5 star pieces to buy a badge from Dazzle later. That will help a lot with the last trick in the run being Palace Skip.
This game does have some adventure game properties. There's little collectibles that you can use for things. The star pieces work like a sort of form of currency where there's a character who you can trade them to that'll get you badges named Dazzle. There's usually one in every game. Anyway, this is the black treasure chest. You need to get it a black key in order to unlock it. And it promises you some sort of fancy reward if you're able to open it.
All right, let's see what that reward is.
However, it calls you a fool
Oh, no.
and encompasses the entire screen.
I fell
and
for it.
curses you with a dreadful ability. So now we can turn into a paper airplane.
Speaking of an airplane, there's an airplane going over the building right now. All right, so that's another tutorial. You actually can't spam B for that one. You have to input down and A. So we're not actually going to go to the 1,000-year door. The first sequence break is coming up. It's called Blooper Skip. So basically, whenever Mario enters a loading zone, you have 1 frame to jump, and you can basically do 2 frame-perfect jumps onto the boat platform, and then for whatever reason, the game will not store like where Mario's last position was, and also we avoided all the Goombas, so we're good.
Yeah. So in this upcoming room, luckily, like we're gonna enter this room via the air platform here, and we're gonna skip about 3 minutes worth of cutscenes and a boss fight.
All right, let's see if I can get this skip.
Yeah, right as he's walking in this room, he's going to immediately perform a few jumps to try and get onto the boat platform. If he's running back, then he knows that he didn't time the jump correctly.
Yeah, I keep doing it too early now.
And so if you fall into the water, what's going to happen is... Or do you want me to be quiet and let you focus?
Yeah, for right now.
Sure.
All right, I think that's it. All right, we're good. So Mario gets over here, and we skip all the cutscenes with the 1,000-year door and Blooper.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a pipe that spawns there, but even though we didn't fight the boss fight, the game still has the collision there, and you can hold down to get into the pipe. And we've just skipped straight into Chapter 1, saving several minutes.
All right, so there's another skip that I've been debating if I want to go for now, called Bridge Skip. Saves about 20 seconds, and you have the chance of dying in game and getting a game over. Now I can save, but if I just don't get it, I'll look like an idiot. So what do you say, Ghost? Think I should go for it?
Go for it, dude. I mean,
all right.
That was a pretty quick. A pretty quick skip there.
So I'm gonna just enter this cutscene real quickly. Then I'm gonna go back and save and hopefully get Bridge Skip. You have 8 chances to get it, and it's frame perfect. You're basically using the same like storage, which is called HRG, hazard respawn glitch. But instead of landing on the other side of the platform, you land in the middle of the water, which you have to time a frame-perfect jump in order to jump to the other side.
Yeah. So this game runs at 60 frames per second for anyone who's not super familiar with game terminology. So 1 frame is essentially 1/60th of a second. It's like an instant.
All right. So I'm gonna ask that everyone be quiet for now, so I can try and get this, because it is pretty hard. It's pretty much a blind frame perfect jump, so if I get it, then that'd be great. If I don't get it, then I'm just gonna reset and then hope for the best. First try, let's go.
That trick is super hard.
Yeah, I did not expect to get that first try. I'm glad. That was so worth it.
Yeah, so one of the nice little side effects of skipping going to the 1,000-year door
we didn't even mention that.
frankly, is an NPC who's normally set to follow us. Followers in this game have some interesting properties in that they will follow you everywhere you go. So if you sequence to break the game, they will follow you in places they're not actually supposed to be. So Frankly is going to join us for the entirety of Chapter 1. He's never going to really say anything. He's just going to kind of be there and make cutscenes look far more...
He's kind of like Flavio, but better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
also, he causes this house to lag a lot. But he's actually being nice. He lags it a lot if he's outside of the house.
So we need to talk to the mayor here to open up the fortress on the east of town. We need to go there in order to actually be able to get to the castle. Well, in the story, we need to head to Schwank Fortress first in order to get what we need to go back to complete the castle. So the castle, we saw a dragon flying off. The dragon's name is Hooktail, and Hooktail has been essentially eating all the residents of town for many years.
Yeah, these poor Koopas.
And the map... Now, the 1,000-year door, when we go to the 1,000-year door with the map that we have, the 1,000-year door will reveal a pathway to the crystal stars, which we need to collect all the crystal stars in order to open the 1,000-year door.
What are you talking about, man? We never went to the 1,000-year door.
Yeah, this is what's supposed to happen. We just completely skipped all that. So just kind of giving a little bit of context for what we're doing here. Anyways, this enemy has 2 defense. You cannot kill it with regular basic jumps or hammer. You can kill it with a power smash, but it's faster to use a POW block, which you can just pick up on the way. Also, stage hazards, they're a thing.
Yeah. So during that battle, you can actually get a frame perfect jump, which saves a little bit of time. If you heard, Mario made the jump sound, but he didn't actually jump. I got basically what is called the speed glitch frame, which hopefully I'll get to show off. Basically, when Mario leaves a battle, if you press A at a certain time, he'll kind of increase his speed, and it's just called speed glitch. But if you input A on a different frame, you can get a jump out of the battle.
So these guys also have 2 HP. You can't hammer or jump on them. They'll attack back. So the only way to kill it is either with an item or a super guarding. And super guarding is slow, so we don't want to do that.
I didn't get the jump. That's okay. So you may also be noticing that I'm jumping around a lot. What I'm doing is something called speed swapping. So Mario's speed is actually faster going upward. So if I go up for at least 1 frame and then jump left or right, I can continue doing frame perfect jumps to keep that speed, and you end up going a little faster.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to use this wherever he can, so long as it's like safe and reasonable to do so, like moving away or towards the screen. When he says upwards, like along the y-axis, like towards or against, as opposed to on the side, it's a little bit faster. And it involves a bunch of frame perfect jumps, and you can tell when you're doing it right because Mario will be Mario's sprite will be facing backwards, or not like be facing the
he'll be
background,
facing
not
up.
the foreground.
Yeah. So these quiz answers are always the same. It's always 1, 3, 4, 2, 3. So just need to enter them in, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, if you don't get these right, you have to fight 2 or 3 spiky clefts. And while you could kill them with items, it's just faster to not get into that fight at all.
Yeah. Pretty much throughout the entire round, I'm going to be trying to avoid every encounter I can. But there are some encounters that are forced, like a couple of them coming up in Schwank Fortress. I'm just going to be taking them out with simple items. So Fuzzies, I should have known he was going to come up for me. So Fuzzies actually move faster on the Japanese version than the English version, and he just caught me off guard. I thought I'd be able to make it a little bit, but he just kind of caught me. So usually if you get into an encounter, it wastes about 10 seconds or so. So that's okay. So this enemy is forced, so I'm just going to be using a simple Fire Flower. I don't know why I went down. I almost used a Fright Mask.
Conveniently, they only have 3 HP. They're a little nasty to deal with because they will try and suck your health, but Fire Flowers are strong enough to take them out in one go.
So let's just hope I don't... This guy's being a little pain.
It's usually faster, or it's always faster to take a little bit of caution and like just kind of weave your way around enemies rather than actually getting into a fight. Because
So
running is slow.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So if you notice, I'm hitting the badge blocks, but I'm not collecting the badge. That's because it's going in the opposite direction that I'm moving. So it's faster to kind of chance it and hope that the item will, or the badge will go in the direction that you're going. Unfortunately for multi-bounce, I only have like 1 more chance. So it just wastes a little bit of time if you don't get it. But multi-bounce is a badge that we will be needing, so need to pick it up. Oh, this guy. He's trying to juke me.
It's trolling you, man.
Alright, so now here comes the Gold Fuzzy fight. So we're just going to simply take it out with a couple jumps and a Super Guard and also a Fire Flower. So yeah, we actually do use the Super Guard here as well.
So out of curiosity, are stylish commands slower? Or do you just never go for them because you don't want to mess up?
Stylish commands, if you go for the second one on the jump, it's slower. But with the hammer, if you're hammering an enemy, it's actually faster to hit the first stylish. So you may notice when I do hammer, I'm going to be doing a stylish. It's actually faster.
Nice super guard.
Yeah. That one's actually somewhat required, and it wastes time if you don't get it, because then you're 1 damage short, and really the backup is to use a fire flower, like a second fire flower, and you have to buy a new one later.
So you don't need to kill the horde of fuzzies. You just need to kill the golden fuzzy who has 10 HP.
Mm-hmm.
So to touch on what stylish commands are, there's a little hidden thing in this game. They do kind of tell you about it with certain badges. But if you press A at the right time after doing an attack, your character will do something kind of fancy to show off for the stage. Because like one of the things that I really like about like the flavor of the battle system in this game is it's sort of presented as if every battle is like a stage performance. And there's a lot of little things that add to that, like collapsing props in the background. There's an audience that cheers for you, and the more members you have cheering for you, the faster your star points replenish. And occasionally, if you're being really slow at combat, or just because they don't like you, crowd members will throw things at you, such as items or you know, projectiles that'll hurt you, or sometimes they'll give you a nice little item.
Yeah, Luigi can give jam and jellies.
I've never seen that. I did not know that was a thing.
Go watch one of Sork's English runs. He pops off to getting a jam and jelly. It's pretty hilarious. So right now we're pretty much backtracking because we got everything we need in Schwamp Fortress, and now we're going to go to Hooktail Castle.
So that bomb that you see there in white, we're not going to be seeing him later, are we?
No, we're not.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah, I don't like his mustache. And he also is on a part of a fetch quest that gets skipped. But that's beside the point.
Here's Koops. He wants to tag along with Mario because he thinks that his father went to go fight Hooktail and could possibly be dead.
So he wants to just kind of figure out what happened. So a lot of the partners, at least at the beginning, follow archetypes of partners that we saw in the previous game. But a lot of them have like little advanced things to them. So in Paper Mario 64, you got Kooper, you just do a shell shot. Kooper has a few additional things that he can do. Or sorry, Koops has a few things that he can do. Where if you hold X, you can actually hold the shell and then let go of it and release it later. Which is a very interesting little upgrade, but it's also going to be useful for a few tricks in the run as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is his maybe not girlfriend. I think he actually is.
Yeah, it is his girlfriend. Yeah, he's telling him, don't go off and risk your life.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like, I gotta be a man, and she just calls him stubborn and attacks us.
yeah, she calls him stubborn for trying to be a man.
Mm. He's sort of portrayed as this like meek little Koopa who wants to prove himself.
Yeah, he's kind of shy. So another fire flower we're going to be using for one of the fights in Hooktail Castle. So there's a badge here I'm trying to get. I've got 2 more chances to get it without wasting time, so hopefully I can get it. There we go.
Nice. So we're just heading back. Yeah, so here we actually needed both. Well, we're told that we need both Koops and the stones here. I believe there's a way you can do this without actually using Koops.
Yeah, there is a way. I don't think anyone's done it RTA, but the task does it.
Yeah, so you need to hit both switches at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Another neat little thing about this game is there's actually a lot of stuff you can do on the background. You're supposed to actually go to the background and hit a switch earlier, but thanks to the bridge skip, we bypassed doing that entirely. In the background, jumping is faster than moving normally. This is something you kind of figure out even in your casual playthrough, and everyone does it after that.
Yeah, it's also faster to switch partners in the background than in the foreground.
Yeah, because you don't have to sit through the cutscene of them popping out of your bag and then another one, or the one popping into your bag and the other one popping out.
If you even want to call it a bag. So this next room can be pretty trolly. These Koopas and a Paratroopa, if you let them, they will actually no. It's only 1 Koopa and 2 Paratroopas, but they can get you in a corner and they can first strike you. They're a little annoying. So, all right, they're in good spots. All right, we should be good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So we need to get this badge now. This is Power Bounce, and
I'm going to take the long way.
Yeah, it's probably the most important badge for several parts of the run.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So kind of slow that room was, but just didn't want to get into an encounter.
Yeah, so right here we find this differently colored set of bones. Koops thinks that it's his father, and he finds a note in his clutches.
We're not going to read it.
We're not going to read it. If you read it, it says that it wasn't actually Koops' father, it was Colorado's father, which Colorado is the name of the Cooper in...
I just turned around. I did not even mean to do that.
Oh, nice.
Man, I did not intend to do that.
Yeah, so now we need to hammer the dry bones. It's pretty simple here, but this was sort of like a game. I feel like it was like sort of a test at how many things they could put on screen at once.
Yeah. The bitrate goes dead in the when the X-Nauts all charge Mario. And there's actually more X-Nauts on the Japanese version than the English.
Yeah, so the red bones here has 5 hit points, which is why we're using 2 fire flowers, because we don't want to let it get a turn.
So coming up here is our first level up. In the run, we level up FP once, and then the rest is BP. We never level up HP for a specific reason, which we will explain later on.
Yeah, because you can also avoid all damage. There is kind of this neat little challenge to this game of playing it at low health points and trying to avoid every attack. But there's also another purpose for it in the speed run, which is that we actually benefit from having lower HP. So this is a trick that I always thought was super neat. You can actually jump on the lock here in order to get to this stone block. Ordinarily, you would have to hit the purple switch. And, okay, he's going to try for something here.
Yeah, it's
nice.
very easy. It's very easy.
Yeah, so normally you have to hit the purple block to cause a small little purple block to come down, and then you hop on top of the stone block. But you can just jump on the lock that's on the door as well.
Yeah, but that basically what that's called. It's called flip switch skip. Basically, you have to normally hit the like the switch in that room to flip the staircase, but you can just drop down there and like it's very easy. You just go to the edge and then just tap down and hold up. It's very easy.
Hey, so we have a question from Jeff who says, how much does the marathon have to get to for us to visit Waka during the run?
None, because we never go to Chapter 5.
I think he meant a lot, because unfortunately, yeah, Waka's in Chapter 5. And
Don't you do this? Don't you do this, Jeff? Don't you do this?
Also, rather curiously, you'll notice Frankly will appear in random spots of the room whenever you enter. So you'll often just see him like hopping around in the background.
Oh yeah, there's a cutscene coming up later where if you get lucky, he hops around like crazy, so hopefully I'll get lucky.
So now here we're at the second of the cursed chests. This one allows us to turn 3D-ish and just become a thin piece of paper.
Yeah, we just go into paper mode, which is going to be useful for a trick later in the run.
Yeah, so paper mode allows us to squeeze through bars, which is its intended purpose, but it also decreases part of our hitbox.
Oh no, the Goomba's in the cell.
Oh.
That's something that can happen.
I've never seen that. Yeah, admittedly, I have watched runs of this game over the years, but I still miss things that runners often see.
Yeah, that Goomba, that Paragoomba, he can sometimes disappear from the room entirely, or he'll just go in the cell. I'm not actually sure why that happens.
Yeah, so now that we have paper mode, we can go back to the room with the blue-shoed Koopa and get a key that was locked in the background.
So there's another skip that I can potentially do. It saves 8 seconds, but it wastes 30 seconds if you fail it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Oh, I missed the key. Go for it. All right.
I mean, you've already got bridge skip once, so you're on a roll here today.
Yeah, if I waste 30 seconds, it won't. I'll go for it once. If I miss it, then I'll just take it. I'll just do the normal way.
So I assume you never upgrade partners, so notice you're not grabbing the chance right there.
We never upgrade partners.
Those poor Piantas.
All right, so yeah, I guess I'll go for it. So the next skip coming up, it's not really a glitch. There's a window here that's just barely reachable, and if you jump, you can actually make it to the window. Hopefully I can get this.
So you see here he has to hit these switches to create the platform. You can actually make a pretty precise jump to get past it. Nice.
I got it. Nice. So yeah, That saves 8 seconds. It's pretty risky to do in runs. It's not too hard, but it's just kind of more risky than anything. So I'm going to be grabbing this life stream. I normally in RTA runs don't actually grab it, but for a marathon it's going to be for safety. So this encounter is intentional because we need to have a certain amount of experience just to kind of set leveling right. So this encounter is actually forced, so we kill it anyways because there's no way to avoid. Well, there is a way to avoid it, at least for tasks, but not so much RTA.
Yeah, so leveling up is important because leveling up fully heals you, and there are certain parts where we don't want to have full health.
Yeah, there's frankly bouncing around. He can bounce like so much faster, but at least I got something.
So this is Miss Maz. She tells us of she goes into various dungeons and tells us of the treasures in the dungeon, but also gives us a little bit of advice. She's also a optional character that you can get as a 7th party member.
We're not going to get her.
Yeah. Oh, that actually used to be in the English any % route.
Yep, not anymore. There's been so many times where Ms. Mouse has been... Uh-oh, please don't hit me. She's been, like, in the English run and out of the English run. It's, like, been many times. So interesting thing about this next plane panel coming up, it's actually further away on the Japanese version. It's closer on the English version for whatever reason.
I guess American playtesters found it difficult to clear this distance. I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's so easy. You can read a donation or two while I make my way to Hooktail.
Sounds good. We have a couple of donations here. $50 from Red2Go.
Yo, Red.
Hey, Yoshi, don't mess up. Love Red.
Thanks, Red.
We have $100 from Jordan, who said, I have to donate during my favorite game of all time. Hopefully we get a proper Paper Mario sequel in our lifetimes.
Maybe.
And $10 from Geister Carl, who says, thanks for the entertainment after midnight here in Germany.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your donation.
And just to remind everybody, we are about $1,100 away from beating the previous record of donations at Calithon. So let's make that happen.
Let's make that happen during this run.
During this run would be awesome, yeah.
All right, so we've made it up to Hooktail's lair, and we're going to fight Hooktail. So this is actually the hardest boss of the run due to power bounces. So we need to get 1 9 bounce, and basically how power bounce works is you have a couple frames for each bounce, but once you get to the 8 power bounce, to get to 9, it's frame perfect. So I have to hit 1 frame perfect bounce to get 9. And this is the only fight that requires like the most bounces, so it's really the hardest fight in the run.
Yeah, Hooktail, well, first of all, Hooktail has a weakness that they mention, which is the sound of a cricket.
I got 7. So for this next one, I need to get 10 if I want to, if I don't want to lose time.
So the sound of the cricket makes Hooktail sick. So that's why the first hit did no damage, but then now all of them do.
Dang,
Ooh.
7 again.
So Hooktail's first phase has 20 HP, the second phase has 10.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, as you see, Power Bounce is a attack where you can just repeatedly jump. Here, Hooktail tries to bribe you, and you can say no 3 times, but if you take any of it, Hooktail just attacks with a nasty bite that does 5 damage. It gets a lot of people in their first playthroughs. I think my biggest challenge whenever I played this game was actually I would often try and do Hooktail without the attack FX badge that creates the cricket sound.
All right, let's see if I can get 8 bounces at least.
Also, we're literally breaking the 4th wall here.
I can't get 8 bounces today. Rip. So that's losing a little bit of time, but that's okay. Three 7 bounces, rip. So that was an okay Hooktail fight. Just lost a little bit of time, but that's okay.
This light is shining right on my face. There's Frankly. He's done nothing to help us in this fight, but he's there for moral support. So.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
So in a very weird twist of fate, it turns out that Koops' father was actually in Hooktail's belly all along. And survived in ways that no living being should have to go through. But it's great because he gets a reunion with his son. And so that is Chapter 1.
Yeah, Chapter 1's pretty much done, and between chapters there's a bunch of cutscenes with Bowser and Peach, so pretty much when that's going on there's nothing really to explain, so you can read some more donations if you have any.
Okay. We did get one more donation here. I'm going to probably get this name wrong, but it's Snow Ion.
Snowy on.
Snowy on.
Snowy On. There we go. Okay. Hey, Yoshi, good luck on the second best Mario RPG run. Can't wait for the best Mario RPG to be played tomorrow.
I see how it is, Snowy.
And we have a couple incentives, too, I want to plug as well. We have the Link to the Past randomizer coming up right after this. And you can donate for which character sprites you'd like each of the contestants to use. Currently, it looks like we might be seeing Esper Terra from Final Fantasy VI, as well as Luigi. But some other options are out there, like Mega Man X. We've got Roy Koopa. Even Will from Illusion of Gaia is an option. So definitely check those out if you're thinking about donating and put your money towards one of the incentives.
Yeah, so remember that we said Frankly follows you on every screen? We meant literally every screen.
Literally.
So he even appears in the Big Bad's base, just because he's programmed to follow you until the game sets the flag to remove followers, or replaces him with a different follower, which we never got that flag because the flag is the first time that we go to the 1,000-year door. Frankly, save her. I think he's secretly in cahoots with the Big Bad.
Doesn't want to do anything to save her.
Anyway, so this guy's name is Grotus. He's the leader of this army of what they're called X-Nauts, as you can see by the X on their clothing. And what they're trying to do is find the crystal stars in order to open the 1,000-year door. They lost the treasure map, unfortunately, so they're kind of trying to do it blind.
We got the Shadow Sirens here. We will be encountering them, but we're not going to get Vivian. We don't need her.
That never gets old.
He's there. Now he's there. Oh, so for every casual player who thinks you need to take a shower in order to advance the cutscene, you actually just need to enter this door and leave, and then you can advance. That's all you have to do. So remember speed swaps with Mario? Well, you can actually do speed swaps with Peach, which does save, like, a little bit of time.
So this creepy computer here is named Tech, or TECXX. His purpose is to be like a really smart, perfect supercomputer. And the reason that he's calling us here is actually as soon as he saw Peach, his circuit started frying. So Peach thinks that the computer secretly loves her. And he can't comprehend because he is, of course, a PC.
He doesn't even know what love is.
Wants you to show him.
Interesting thing about Tech is he's actually, his lens is blue in the English version. For the Japanese version, he's red for whatever reason.
Yeah, so in sort of a quid pro quo situation, he decides that he's going to help you out if you help him understand his feelings. So he lets you send an email to Mario about...
We're going to leave Frankly in there.
Yeah. Rip. He'll find his way. So he lets Peach send an email to Mario, basically saying, you know, I'm fine, I'm held hostage, but I'm fine. So here's the third player into this story, our good pal Bowser.
Oh, and guess who's with him? Just give it a minute.
Oh, snap.
Look who that is.
playing on all sides here.
Yeah, he's on Mario's side, he's on Peach's side, now he's on Bowser's side. Oh, he's also on Grodus' side.
He's just a neutral observer.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't be getting much of Frankly any longer. Probably a couple more minutes. But we will see something very interesting with him.
So this is a Kami Koopa, not related to Camp Koopa, who is sort of an aide to Bowser. She's sort of portrayed as this like old lady witch assistant character to Bowser, and just tells him Mario's out looking for this thing called the Crystal Stars, and Bowser's like, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna get in on this. And so his castle is apparently made of paper as well, as he rips a giant hole in it.
Yeah, he doesn't care about his castle. His minions will rebuild it.
It's actually really interesting, too, if you play Bowser's Inside Story, you find out that he actually... While at times there are certain things that he treats his minions poorly, there's a sense of camaraderie with them, that they, like, all are good friends, and he does care about his minions.
So now we're pretty much in post Chapter 1, and hey, there's Frankly. So we're actually going to be going to the 1,000-Year Door now for technically the second time, but in this run it's the first time. Oh, I forgot to mention, so a side effect of doing Blooper Skip, you don't get Sweet Treat, and your star power is invisible. We still will have the special move, so we still have Earth Tremor, but we just won't have Sweet Treat, and our star power is invisible.
Thankfully, you don't have to depend on it very much for this run.
Yeah, you really don't.
So there's our email. We hear Super Mario World ringtone, and on the I don't remember, is that a DS or a Game Boy Advance?
I think it's a Game Boy SP.
Right. Little clever touches, like references to their own products Nintendo likes to insert into their games. So we got time for a donation. We're just heading back right now.
Okay. I'm not seeing any new donations yet, but I do see that we have a prize currently available that everybody in the chat could donate for. If you donate just $5, you'll be entered to win a copy of Drake and Josh for the Game Boy Advance.
Thank you, Konasumi.
The hottest game of all time.
Thank you for donating that, Konasumi. Wish you were here, man.
So you can actually speed swap across those platforms, which saves a bit of time. And this is hard, but if I'm fast enough... I wasn't fast enough. You can make that cycle just barely if you're fast and you do a bunch of speed swap. It's kind of a task strat that, like, it's possible for RTA, but it's just kind of hard.
Yeah, so here we can just slip through these bars and not have to worry about the Goombas and save a little bit of time in the process.
So we're actually going to the 1,000-Year Door for real this time. Uh-oh. The guy. So we're at the 1,000-Year Door. This would normally be our second time in a casual playthrough, but it's our first.
Yeah, so the way the 1,000-Year Door works is every time you bring a Crystal Star to it, it will upgrade your map to show, you know, where the next Crystal Star is. And rather interestingly, it will also make any modifications, because the map is from hundreds of years ago, but it will adjust to whatever scenery is there. Like, if anything is there now, it'll, like, change the map to show you that there's something new there, and that's probably going to be where we're supposed to go. Like you see here in the background, that castle wasn't originally there at the beginning of the game. So now it just makes a 3D cutout of a giant tree, and so that's where we have to go next. Although that was there.
Next chapter is kind of boring in my opinion, at least the first half. There are some speedrunners that actually like it. Don't know why. It's kind of boring. And there's some RNG parts of it, and also, let me just say, Punies and Jabbies are dumb. You'll see why later. There is actually a skip that you can do in Chapter 2. but it's like crazy hard, and it's really not worth going for.
So Frankly is on the outside trying to get into Frankly's house while we're talking here to Frankly.
Yeah, it's funny. The Frankly that was following us isn't here, but when we leave, he now follows us, and it kind of looks like it looks like Frankly came out of his house now just to come be on Mario's adventure. So before we go to Chapter 2, we're going to get one more star piece, and we're going to buy the Item Hog badge from Dazzle.
This badge, normally all it does is increases the chance of an enemy dropping an item, which wouldn't normally be useful to the speedrun. However, there is going to be a use for pretty much the biggest trick in the entire run for having an enemy drop an item.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of RNG when we get there. Many runs can die to not getting the item drop quickly. So hopefully it's nice to me.
Yeah, so Yoshi's PB in this category, I believe, is a 248.
Yeah, it's also currently world record in this category.
Yeah, 248.23, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So that's the reason for there being, like, a 22-minute buffer is some of the tricks in this game can be really time-consuming, especially if you mess them up. So, yeah, this is not an easy run by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
And you've just blown through every difficult trick so far. So, hopefully that goes well, or hopefully you don't blow all your good luck in one spot. Anyway, so this is Punyo.
You're going to be seeing something very interesting coming up right here. So, I don't want anyone to say anything. I just want... Here, just try and see if this cutscene coming up kind of looks a little odd to you. Yeah, so Frankly just stole Punyo's dialogue. So Frankly's actually Punyo right now. Unfortunately, we're only going to be seeing Frankly for a couple more minutes and then just say our goodbyes because he's going to transform back to Punyo. So who knows? Maybe Frankly is secretly dupeless.
So essentially, you're supposed to have Punyo set as the follower in this area, but because we have Frankly, it just kind of confuses the game. Anyway, so this is a cutscene with the 3 Shadow Sirens, Beldam, Marilyn, and Vivian, and they kind of are portrayed as this little bungling idiot trio. They're actually a little bit more serious than that. But essentially, their whole shtick is the little sister, Vivian, with the red hat, gets picked on all the time, while Bedlam is kind of the, mean older sister. So she picked up a necklace in the woods, and Beldam, I keep thinking of the word Bedlam, Beldam is not happy about that, and they also lost the sketch of Mario, who they're supposed to try and find. And Beldam lost it, and she thinks Vivian had it, even though Beldam would never trust Vivian with it. So, in punishment, she takes the necklace that Vivian found, which is going to be important because, they wouldn't show us this item if it wasn't important.
Say goodbye to Frankly, everyone.
It was Punyo all along.
I hear someone doing coin sound effects and one-up sound effects in the other room. So yeah, now our main follower is Punyo for right now.
And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what you think of Punyo, there isn't any way to get him to follow us for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It would be kind of nice to have more sequence breaks for this particular chapter. It's very gloomy.
Yeah, we really want to skip Chapter 2. There is one more theorized trick in this game that the community has pretty much tried to theorize, which is Blimp Ticket Skip, which would save about 35 minutes, and it would cut out the Great Tree and also the post-Chapter 2 sequence before Chapter 3. We haven't gotten any luck yet, but Hey, maybe it'll happen one day.
Yeah, essentially, there are ways to get to just about everywhere in the game. They're all from the hub, which is Rogueport. However, they're kind of all blocked off by their own little story flag. For instance, to get to Chapter 3, you need to give this one attendant a ticket in order to get to the blimp. There's also places like several chapters you get access to via the sewers. One of them you can actually gain access to Chapter 7 before completing Chapter 6, but like it doesn't let you make progress until you set the game to a certain story position.
Yeah. We will be getting Yoshi this run. We only get 4 partners this run. We get Goombella, Koops, Flurry, and Yoshi. The other partners we don't get at all.
I can name the Yoshi something funny if you'd like.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, with this being the Japanese version, some Japanese games do this. This game didn't. The character font is entirely Japanese kana, which is their essentially their alphabet. So, setting like we couldn't do like a naming incentive for setting player name or Yoshi name.
Yeah, Ghost King would have loved to help me figure out how to spell a certain name. He actually helped me spell. I usually, when I start runs, I just name my file Yoshi, but he actually helped me complete it by doing the full name Yoshizilla.
So this is Flurry. She is
The worst partner.
She is a retired actress who came here to get away from it all, and she's very obsessed with beauty. And she found that she cannot leave her house without her beloved necklace. So where have we seen a necklace? Oh, that's right. It was with the Shadow Sirens. So we need to go back and get it in order to get Flurry to help us get into the tree, which is essentially the tree has been broken into by the X-Nauts where Puny lives. And they installed a door that we can't open, so we need to get access to the secret entrance.
So while I'm making my way back to Shadow Sirens, you can read a donation or two before I get there.
Okay, we do have a couple of donations here. $5 from Kendall, who says, "Hi, Yoshi."
Hi, Kendall.
And we have $5 from Max Hillman
Yo.
what's
for
up,
my
Max?
favorite Super Mario 64 runner,
Oh my
Yoshizilla.
gosh. I knew that was coming. He, for whatever reason, calls me the pro of Super Mario 64 when I literally, that's not even my main speed game. It's just like, just a meme or something. He wants me to become it, but yeah. I mean, I'll take it as a compliment if he thinks I'm good in the game that I'm really not. Whatever. So we're making our way to the Shadow Sirens. This is also another fight we're going to be using Super Guards in to save time. It's not required, but it can be used to save time.
So this is sort of set up as a multi-enemy boss. They each of them have their own elements. Vivian is fire, Beldam is ice, and Marilyn is thunder.
We won't be seeing any of their magical abilities, though.
Yeah. Beldam has the fewest HP at 9, Marilyn has the most at 12, and Vivian has 10.
So I'm going to try and get a Super Guard on Marilyn and Vivian. If you do that, you have to do an Earth Tremor in this fight, but you can fill it up to... You don't have to fill it up all the way if you get these Super Guards, so let's see if I can get it. They're a little challenging.
Yeah, so now he's basically setting each of
alright.
them up to have 6 HP, so you can get a perfect Earth Tremor.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed the first one, so there's no reason to go for the second one. So I got to get a full Earth Tremor, so let's hope I do it.
It's also kind of amusing because Koops has 1 defense, so if they attack him, it usually does nothing, unless Marilyn does it. Earth Tremor is it's pretty simple timing until you get to the last one. I've been thrown off many times in that one. Good
All
one.
right. Kind of made me consistently just mash it. So they will all die with this one power shell. So you can get a jump out of this battle, similar to kind of the fortress battles. So let's see if I can get it. I didn't get it. It's frame perfect, and you pretty much just mash to get it.
One thing I haven't touched on since we haven't really done a whole lot of battles. When in the Japanese version, oh, nice trick.
Yeah, so that's called tree clip. It saves about 3 seconds or so, maybe like 2. Basically, how it works is if you fall out of bounds, Mario will respawn pretty much to the last loading zone he touched, which was the right one in that case. So we could save a little bit of time, and it's also risk-free of the encounters. You just simply clip between the tree, and then you just fall out of bounds.
So one thing I was going to try and touch on. In the
Oh, wow, he sniped me.
In the Japanese version, when you finish a chapter, you don't heal afterwards. In the English version, this was corrected. You fully heal after each chapter. And that actually does save a little bit of time. This was sort of seen as the first time save that the Japanese version would offer. Because this game advances by text boxes. The reason Japanese version is faster actually has nothing to do with the text, which is not the case in Paper Mario 64, although that version also does have version-exclusive glitches as well.
Yeah, but not anything too huge. Like the version exclusive glitches kind of save like the ones that you can't do in the English. Like you're only losing a couple minutes or so, which in this case you're losing a full hour. If you do the English version.
Whoa, are we sure this channel is okay for kids?
I don't know, man. Ask the game developers.
Yeah, so this is Flurry. For thanking us, she gives us a big old smooch on the foot.
So yeah, as Ghost King was saying, you don't actually heal your HP at all in the Japanese version. You do heal, however, after Chapter 1, but then after that, you don't heal at all. Really, runners didn't really use the Japanese version until one of the big tricks, not Palace Skip, but Ultra Hammer early got found. And that's really what started, what made runners move on to using the Japanese version instead of the English version.
Yeah, so up until about 2014, this game was around 6 hours. It started getting under 6 hours to about the 5:30-ish mark. And then when the conversion to Japanese happened, this game just started seeing huge time save after huge time save with just big skips found over the next year or so.
All right, good. That guy didn't get me. I'm surprised he got me last time. I did not expect that.
Do you mind if I plug an incentive quick?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so because we have Link to the Past Randomizer coming up next, I want to remind everybody that you have the opportunity to make the run all dungeons. And to do that, we need about $1,000 more donated towards that incentive. So we definitely have some time to make that happen. But if you want to make it all dungeons, then you've got some work to do. So let's get those donations in.
So Flurry is the key to getting inside the Great Tree. So, this is a secret entrance, but, well...
Only P&O can enter. It's fine, though.
And it has a big old sign that says secret entrance. It's labeled. So the Great Tree, in my opinion, is I guess, the good part of Chapter 2, but still kind of dumb with the Punies and Jabbies, which, again, you'll see why when we get there.
You might actually notice that he still has the cricket badge equipped.
Yeah, we don't take that off until we sell it later, because there's just no reason to take it off, and you'll automatically take off the badge if you sell it, and it costs no BP, so it's
Fun fact:
no
in the
reason.
demo of it, it was actually supposed to be a frog. They say that Hooktail's weakness is something that sounds like it starts with a C and ends in a ricket. It was actually starts with a F and ends with a rog. Kind of like a little bit of trivia. I'm still not quite sure it sounds like either of them, but whatever.
So yeah, X-Nauts are scared of Fright Masks as well, so let's use a Fright Mask to take care of him.
Yeah, so this is also to prevent us from leveling up right now when we don't need to.
Yeah, the next battle we will level up because it's only one X-Naut and we can just do a simple power bounce.
So ordinarily, this place is just bustling with punies, but most of them have actually been taken captive.
Including Punio's sister. So really, the whole Great Tree is being like it's being overrun by the X-Nauts because the Crystal Star is at the bottom of the Great Tree.
Yeah, and they don't really. The X-Nauts don't really know much about it. They just know that it's here, so they're just kind of tearing this place down in order to try and find it by any means necessary.
So there's an X-Naut here that we can just easily avoid by having him. Oh, he's being. All right. Well, I guess that's how we're doing it. You usually have him lured to the bush, and he just gets caught by the bush, but he wasn't noticing me, so I just used Flurry. That's like a good alternative you can do. Oh, another difference between the Japanese version compared with the other versions, going through side pipes actually wastes more. It's like slower by a couple of frames than the other versions. The other versions you go in like pretty much right away, but in the Japanese version, you have to wait like a couple extra frames for whatever reason. Again, there's a whole list on the speedrun website for 1,000 Year Door.
So thankfully, the first of the 2 keys in order to break the Punies out is here.
And look, it's Miss Mouse again.
Dang, Mario's getting all the girls in this game.
Man, he really is.
So this X-Naut thinks that we knocked him out, so he's going to go after us.
And we don't Fright Mask him. We actually Power Bounce him this time. And oh my gosh. Wow.
Wow. So.
And I got 7. Okay. Well, this is very rare. He can have an HP plus sometimes. It's very rare, and that just happened.
Yeah, so.
That RNG.
Normally they have 4 hit points. On a very slight chance, he got the one holding an HP plus badge, which gives you plus 5 HP. So we had to do 9 damage.
And going with how my Power Bounces have been,
what has this run been lately on these things?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Can't believe that happened. That, like, it's been so long since that last happened, and of course, marathon luck.
It's not too big of a time
Yeah.
loss. It's just fun, comical more than anything.
Yeah, and I can't get more than 7 bounces, so.
Thankfully, this game doesn't have as strict like power bounce caps as Paper Mario 64 does. This game does have caps on its power bounces, but unlike 64, where your cap would be anywhere from like 3, 4, 5, 6 hits on bosses, it can go up to like how high can it go?
On Shadow Queen, I'm pretty sure you can get capped at 6. I'm pretty sure. It kind of is different though, because like in PM64 you can kind of get more bounces at least on the blooper boss, but like for Hooktail you can get capped at 9. Like that's the lowest.
Yeah, so that's a power punch. Increases our offense by 2, which is multiplicative for things like jump attacks.
Yeah, we will be using that during the next boss fight. You can read a couple donations if you have any. There's nothing too interesting going on here.
No new donations at this point, but again, just want to remind everybody that up next we have a link to the past randomizer, and we need to raise about $1,000 more in donations for the run to be all dungeons. So if you want to donate your money towards something, I would highly recommend putting your money towards that incentive. And of course, we've got prizes all throughout the weekend, so depending on how much you donate, you could win anything from a copy of Drake and Josh for the Game Boy Advance. If you donate $5, you'd be entered to win that. All the way up to $100, you could win a Nintendo Switch with Zelda and Mario Odyssey. And of course, all of the donations are going towards direct relief, so we appreciate those donations.
Yeah, we definitely want to get that all dungeons thing. I have a vested interest in seeing Village suffer more. So
I think the whole entire venue has a vested interest in seeing Village suffer more.
All right, so here's the next glitch coming up. It's called Puny Glitch. So this is a little challenging, but it's not too hard. I have to do it twice. So you're normally forced to... Normally in runs, you fight that X-Naut because there's like no way to get through this room without fighting him. But you can do what is called a Puny Glitch, and I got it first try, so that's cool.
nice.
That And And we're going to do another Puny Glitch directly after. So, oh, no, that's not going to work. Oh, gosh. So as long as you keep a consistent jump, you can keep your Punies. With the Orb Puny Glitch, you kind of have to go in the direction of the Punies and then jump backwards. So you kind of saw me do some weird movement compared to the Puny Glitch I just showed off. Orb Puny Glitch used to be kind of hard and kind of stupid, but it's not too hard now. Oh, and here are the Jabbies. Jabbies suck because it's pretty much just RNG. And you just kind of have to wait it out. It just really sucks because it can take a long time, or it can be really quickly. Like, look at these guys are just standing there. Hopefully we just don't lose. There we go.
So the Punies act sort of like as multitude of followers. And they're basically this dungeon's main gimmick is having to manipulate them around. It is part of why a lot of people don't care for this chapter, is just having, like, occasionally one of them will just get stuck and you have to like look all over the place to find it, or you have to backtrack all the way to the beginning to get the Elder to whistle them all back. I kind of think of this section as like sort of a bit of an homage to Pikmin, although the fights are a little bit more, a little bit less brutal.
So we got the blue key now, so we're going to go back and get the rest of the Punies. So we're actually going to leave the 11 Punies we have here, because we're going to come back to this room anyway, so there's no reason to take them with us. So we're just going to drop them off right there. We'll be back for you guys. Don't worry. This room can be pretty annoying if you have the Punies. So it's like, if you know how to do it, it's just better to do the Orb Puny Glitches. It's a little tough to learn, but it's not too bad when you get the hang of it.
There's actually a hidden air platform there that you can use Flurry's air overworld ability to blow off. It's something I actually didn't notice for a very long time until I like went to 100% this game. There's a lot of like little hidden things in this game. So that's Thunder Rage. It does 5 damage to all enemies. We're going to be using that.
This X-Naut's nice. So this X-Naut can sometimes be really near you or be far away like that. If he's like kind of right next to the pipe, you can do a little setup to avoid him. But luckily I got good RNG and he just stayed out of my way. And that's what I was trying to do the first time. The X-Naut just kind of gets caught by the bush. So we don't have Punio with us, but, you know, Punio can just teleport. There he is.
So you can't actually use paper mode to go into these cages and talk to the Punies, but they have some interesting things to say.
Yeah, you can do basically what it's called a cutscene walk. You basically go into paper mode and kind of input a direction, and Mario will continue to move during the cutscene. We tried to see if we could use it to save time to go to the pipe, but more than likely you will just lose your Punies, and there's like almost no reason to go for it. So we got 91 Punies now. So here comes another Puny Glitch. This one used to be the hardest one because if you just went straight up, you would almost always lose your Punies. Well, not always, but it's kind of RNG based. I mean, all the Punies are RNG, but you can just kind of go slightly to the like more right or more left, and then you can just jump up and you'll be able to take them with you. So now here's the second Orb Puny Glitch. So you have to basically take out the orb fast. Okay, so my Punies drop, so yeah, sometimes they drop really fast, or dang it. Okay, that actually might cause some problems. I only took 45. So that actually might cause a little bit of problems. I don't think I can actually do Orb Puny Glitch now, so I think I'm just gonna go. I'm just going to abort and try and trap this X-Naut. Okay, this is
Improvisation.
Yeah. I really like have no choice. Like, there's almost nothing you can do. That's never actually happened to me before. Well, it's happened to me before, but just didn't really expect it to happen to me now. So we kind of lost some time doing that, unfortunately, but nothing I can really do. So, because you can't really do or Puny Glitch if you have punies on both sides. So, kind of just had to do that. Luckily, I didn't get into the encounter. So another Puny Glitch. Oh, I almost. Okay, that was a little scary. I almost dropped my jump. So now we get those punies, and we need to stun these piters so the punies don't get scared. This is a little setup you can do. Good RNG. So that badge is not really required, but it saves time if it goes to the left. And now here's another jabby fight.
It's an army of 100 of them.
Yeah, this one can take very long.
Yeah, if you got time to read donations, now would be perfect time.
Yeah, we do have a couple of them now, actually, and they all are donating, it seems, for the All Dungeons incentive, too, which is awesome. We have $10 from Veriphage with no comment. Thank you for that. We have $100 from Squibbles with no comment, but thank you very much for that donation. And $35 from Grandma's Mustache Comb, who says, here's contributing to making that guy you talked about suffer in the All Dungeons run. Much appreciated.
All right, so here comes the next skip, which is called Cage Skip. So I'm going to enter this loading zone in paper mode. And, oh, I was a little too low. I'm going to jump into the loading zone in paper mode, and I won't take the loading zone. Now, for whatever reason, you can just kind of clip into the loading zone, and you won't take it. And now I can clip onto the seam. And I'm out of bounds right now. And I can do a Puny Glitch down here.
Nice.
So there's 2 more Puny Glitches that we can do. This is one of them. Very easy. This next one is called Water Switch Skip. This one can be a little finicky. Like, again, aw, dang it. It did the thing. Punies just randomly drop. This is why I dislike Chapter 2, because Punies and Jabbies are both dumb. They just kind of... They take a while, and sometimes the punies just randomly drop.
To give some context for what all he's just skipped there, there's a room that you go to and you place the puny, the sunstone into in order to lure the punies, but it was actually set up by Crump from the X-Nauts to trap you, and only Mario can escape, and you need to get the ability to break floorboards in order to rescue the punies and continue the chapter. But in doing all of this, we just skipped a huge section of backtracking. Unfortunately, it means we don't get.
All right, we got it.
Nice job. Unfortunately, it means we don't get the super shoes just yet, but that's not too big of a deal. So,
hint, hint. We actually don't get the super boots in this category.
yeah.
So doing Cage Skip saves about a minute, and it Water Switch Skip saves, I think it's about 20 seconds or so. So Water Switch Skip can be a little like weird because you're doing, instead of dropping down and doing puny glitches, you're doing a puny glitch above the puny, so it's a little weird, but there's luckily a setup, which I just did, and it works most of the time. So I'm just gonna spoil this now. So this will you'll either jump for joy or you'll be depressed. So
Don't say it.
for everyone who either loves or dislikes the what ticking mean, well, I'm going to fill you in on a little secret. There is no ticking that's going to consistently go on in this category, except for when it's intended to.
I mean, there never was any ticking to begin
Yeah,
with.
there never was any ticking, but
a lot of people think that there is for some reason,
so I'm going to clearly show that there is no ticking, except for the part that's intended, which is right here. So, oh no, we only have 300 seconds to get to the end. Think we can do it?
So they give you a very lenient amount of time here. I think they expected you to take all the punies with you, so that actually does kind of make this challenging in a casual playthrough. However, if you just leave them there, it's a lot quicker, and there's really no reason to take them with you. So this is actually a really easy escape sequence.
Yeah, it's really easy. So
you don't even have to save the animals because those get saved anyway.
yeah, so we're not gonna get the super boots in the All Crystal Stars category. You will get the super boots after you do cage skip, but for this category, super boots is not required, so we're just going to skip them entirely. So the X-Naut is still in this room up here. I'm going to be doing a little strat that was kind of came up. Ed58 came up with it, and it's pretty cool. So, oh man, you're all the way over there. Okay, so you just lure him here, and he just kind of gets confused. All right, so I'm going to save before this boss because there is a chance of a bucket drop or random stage hazards. And basically, if you get a bucket drop and you don't block it, you will get dizzy. And one of the runners, Al Malicious, has had 2 runs die to it. So I'm just going to play it safe and not take any risks and just save for that. So this fight is pretty RNG based. You can kill this boss in the best is 3 turns, but more than likely you'll get 4 turns. So if I want to kill this boss in 3 turns, I need to get either 2 7 caps or 1 8 cap, and I need to hit the super guard. So
I think
hopefully I
Goombella
can do
describes this boss pretty aptly. She says something along the lines of, it looks kind of cool, but it also looks kind of stupid.
Yeah. So we're going to use a power punch on Mario and not Koops.
Yeah, so the power punch enhances his power bounces considerably. So for each one of them is going up in damage.
All right, so I got 6 cap there. All right, hopefully I can get the super guard.
Yeah. Otherwise, he would just be doing no damage with his
I got the
power
super
bounce.
guard.
The difference with this game is if your power bounce, if your first hit hits, then all hits will do at least 1 damage, as opposed to 64, where if an enemy has defense, your power bounce will stop doing damage after the jumps.
All right,
I less damage.
I got 7 there. I missed the 7th bounce. Oh man. So now I'm going to be using this Thunder Rage to get rid of the arms. And hopefully I can get another 7. Nice. All right, that's the best case scenario you can get for that fight. So that was a really good fight.
Good job.
So there we go.
I do have one donation here, quick.
Go for it.
$15 from Moose Yoshi.
Hi, Muzz.
Hi, Muzz.
I can't pronounce anything today. That's too bad. Anyway, the comment is, your run is now blessed to get Palace Skip first try. Good luck.
Let's hope so.
Thanks, Muzz. So Muzz is actually the one who got all of our wonderful badges here.
She also
Or
made
drew them.
the TTYD shirt I'm currently wearing. Chapter 2 is done. Pretty much from here on out, the run will be pretty interesting because we're going to have 2 big tricks that are coming in roughly 10 minutes. So that's going to be cool.
To give you an idea, if we were to do this without glitches, the run would be probably in the realm of 6.5+ hours. But our estimate is 3 hours and 10 minutes. So the first 2 chapters you do kinda, mostly, maybe as intended. From here on out, this is going to be just big skip after big skip. Culminating in the biggest one that took actually, I think, well over a year worth of theory crafting and glitch testing and all sorts of things, which is going to be the big skip that we do at the end of the run. I'll talk more about that later because that one is rather intricate and takes quite a bit of time to actually do as well.
So we got another Peach cutscene. Nothing really special. I will try to show this off, but I only have 1 frame to do it. It would be like more funny if it was the English version, but I'll try to see if I can get it here. Dang, I didn't get it. So before Peach enters the door, you have 1 frame to basically, like, the exclamation mark is still up there for 1 frame. And the door will be wide open. If you are playing this on the English version, Peach will basically say, it doesn't seem like this door is opening, and it's wide open. So it's kind of something funny that you can do.
So sort of as a recurring theme with Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is Peach sections will have you do something, usually to gather information or to kind of just take a little bit of a break from the chapter you're in. Here, Tech wants to dance with you, and so the best he can do is provide a hologram of you to dance with. It's kind of a weird robot, which Peach actually says many times in the English version, like, you're a weird computer.
So there's 16 inputs, but there's only 10 required, so we're just going to let this play.
I'm kind of having flashbacks to the dancing minigame from Sly Cooper or Sly 2 of all things. I think that one you can miss a few too as well. Yeah. So, Tech here says, that was fun. Wait, fun? What is fun? And email sent. Hopefully it's not put in Mario's spam folder.
That'd be pretty bad.
We just got to find out about the latest Rogueport gossip. There's actually a ton of flavor in this game, and part of what I really enjoy about it is all just the little things that it does with its world. Like, Rogueport is a very bustling town. A lot of the characters have, like, they know each other on a name basis, and it's like, I don't like this guy in town, I don't like this guy in town. It's also a town full of ruffians. And you get emails regularly of just random news, like believable news stories, like this guy lost this much at the casino and started to try and like sue the guy who owns the casino.
So look, it's Super Bowser Bros, except for there's no bros.
I think what really made this section cool when this game came out was before this game, the last time there was a 2D Mario platformer was Yoshi's Island, and then that was a little bit of a different game. So before that was Super Mario World. New Super Mario Bros. Hadn't come out yet, so it was very nostalgic for a lot of people here. What was your time on that?
160, that's the best you can get
Nice.
with the meats. You can skip them and get a 161, but it's kind of hard for RTA, so we just get the meats.
Welcome to Paddleburg. Ah, it's Bowser. So Bowser's coming here because he heard word that Princess Peach is actually here. And voila.
There she is.
So he tries sparking up a conversation with her. She doesn't say anything. Bowser's like, that's fine. I could work with a quiet princess. And this Koopa here, just shaking in his boots, who owns this house, is like, I'd rather die than lose my life-size poster of Princess Peach.
If you actually enter the house, he just has so many posters of Peach. It's kind of creepy.
Great, now I'm the king who talks to weird posters, is what he says.
So if you notice, I'm actually skipping these saves. It's faster to skip the saves than actually save.
I believe it's also faster to just like remove your memory card as soon as the run starts.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. So basically, when I started the run, I had my memory card out, and then I made a file, and it skips an autosave. But the memory card's back in now since I will be saving in this run. So now we're gonna make our way back to the 1,000-Year Door, and
this is going to be the last time we actually go to the 1,000-Year Door before we finally get to open it.
yep. So this Pale Piranha is actually kind of weird on the English version compared to the Japanese version. For whatever reason, he will kind of go into the ground and then stay in place and then move in front of Mario. But on the Japanese version, you know, he just goes right to Mario.
Just have a quick update on our donation incentive for Link to the Past Randomizer. To make the run all dungeons, we currently have $675 out of $1,500, so we have a little less than $1,000 to go now, thanks to your donations. And again, that run is coming up right after the completion of this run, so we still have about an hour and a half or so to raise some money and make that happen.
Yeah, let's get that met. It was like I think I last checked we were a little over 2K viewers, probably more or less. Like if everyone in chat donates, like if half the people in chat donate $1, we would hit that like right now. So go ahead and get your donations in, guys. Really goes to a great cause.
So if you have any donations or anything else you want to talk about, make sure you get them out now, because a big trick's going to come up, which I'm going to need to explain.
Yeah, I think we're good to go right now, actually.
All right. So now our treasure map is going to direct us to a big floating platform with a chain jump on it, floating in the sky. So that's actually going to be Glitzville, which is sort of a fighting tournament arena place where people actually make their living either in fights or betting on fights, or coming in as a tourist attraction. It's really interesting because every chapter in Paper Mario 1 and thus far in 2 has been sort of like its own adventure. Like you go to the next area, you go to a town, and then you go to a dungeon, you get the star, you move on. Here it's a little bit different. While there is some of that, it's sort of like an interesting little break from what you expect. The town of Glitzville is not really a dungeon so much as it's a place where you go to fight battles.
It's a cool chapter, casually.
Yeah, it's kind of seen as far and away the fan favorite in this game. It's not quite that way in the speedrun for various reasons, but I'm still partial to the chapter, personally. I mean, I don't run the game, so that probably would decline a little bit if I did run the game. But
yeah, so coming up, I'm going to sell a bunch of badges in the lovely hose. And then we're going to be doing a big trick. So, Ghost, if you want to start explaining it now, I'm pretty much just going to sell badges and then buy the Power Rush badge. It could be a complicated trick, so if you want to start explaining it now, go for it.
Oh yeah, did you need to talk to Charlieton still?
Not yet. We do that after the trick.
Okay. So we're going to be buying Power Rushes. The way Power Rush works is it increases our offense by 2 when our damage is below 5. Or when our health is 5 or lower, I should say. That is what we call danger strats. And
It's not on sale.
you can actually buy a bulk of power badges, or of Power Rush badges. And so this means that if we're at below 5 HP, we are going to do a metric ton of damage with our attacks. Because they do stack.
You might want to start explaining the next trick, because it can be
All right.
pretty challenging.
So the next thing we're going to do is what is called Ultra Hammer Early, or what Yoshi's going to do. I say we a lot. So we need Flurry out for this because Flurry has this trick called Flurry Super Sliding, which is if you open a door and activate Flurry's ability, it'll show the door opening cutscene, but you will not actually enter the house. So this kind of deloads parts of Rogueport. Okay, so now he's on the seam here. So we're going to try and get out to the treasure chest that we've passed by on the outside of town, which has an item we're not supposed to get until much later.
That's something that can happen. You can just randomly pop out of the inn when doing tap jumps. It's kind of dumb. Like, there's like, I actually don't know how that happens. It's kind of random when it happens. So I got on the seam first try. That's not gonna work. Oh no, it did.
So what he's trying to do here is get on the seam on the outside of the house so that he can actually jump out of the house and doesn't actually load into the house where there are solid
That should
walls
be
keeping
good.
him out.
All right.
So he uses paper mode to change his hitbox a little bit, and he's going to do a ground pound to try and go for the to get the.
Got it.
Nice. That trick is
There we
actually
go.
really difficult.
It is really difficult.
So that is Ultra Hammer Early. Ultra Hammer is supposed to be the final upgrade to the hammer, and we're not supposed to be able to get that until we get the Ultra Jump, which you get in Chapter 6. So this allows us to break any and all like blocks in the game. Also, there's supposed to be Toadette here, but she's
Yeah,
invisible,
she's invisible.
because we kind of deloaded a lot of Rogueport.
Yeah.
Also, there's Flavio. There's his one
Yeah, there's
appearance in the
Flavio.
run.
So we're pretty much already halfway through the run. Once you get the Ultra Hammer, it's pretty much the direct halfway point.
Yeah. As a side effect, Rogueport gets a little screwy. We picked up the contact lens now, and we're going to talk to Charlatan here. His name is a pun on
Nobushi.
Charlatan. It used to be you would actually talk to Charlatan in order to get a Mega Rush badge, which, like Power Bounce, gives you offense. In this additional damage. In this case, though, it's when you're in peril, which we're at 1 HP. You will gain +4 strength instead of +2. We don't have to worry about that anymore in
Thankfully.
the any % route. However, you do need to get a boo sheet from him, which works the same way as Repel Gel in Paper Mario 1. It asks that you get 2 turns in which you don't take damage.
The good thing about the boost sheet, though, is if you don't get it from Charlieton, there is a backup one that you can get in Twilight Town, which it wastes about a minute, but since it's a marathon, it's really no big deal.
Yeah, so in order to refresh what Charlieton has, you need to leave 2 screens away, and the nearest place, I believe, to do that is to go to the train station / blimp station. So this is an homage to homage to something you have to do in Paper Mario 64, where you buy items in specific order to do the password to get the password to move to the back alley here. In that game, it was dried shroom and a hammer. Here, it's a dried shroom and a dizzy dial. So this is Don Pianta. He's sort of the boss of a local, I call it like a G-rated mob. They're not quite, as brutal, but they do kind of beat up people in the streets for, not, complying with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're kind of working with the Pianta mob here.
And he's basically asking us to go get his daughter and one of his workers that fell for his daughter.
Yeah, so they eloped, and he's the only guy we can actually get tickets to Glitzville, because Glitzville is very expensive to go to for a lot of people. So we need to get those tickets, and he's like, all right, you do this, I'll do that for you. We need to get my daughter back from eloping with my coworker, or one of my subordinates. Sorry.
So coming up, there's a cool little glitch I can do in the harbor. Yo, there's the blue sheet.
Nice.
So second try is not too bad at all. So in this category, it doesn't really save that much time. If you get it first try, it saves like maybe 3 or 4 seconds. But hey, it's a marathon. I might as well show it off because it looks pretty cool.
So this guy is you can invest in him. He asks for an investment of 100 coins. You actually have to do it 3 times before you get any payout. And he's basically looking to strike it rich in the oil industry. And if you give him 300 coins, a few chapters down the line, he will max out your coins.
Yeah, you don't actually have to give him 300. Basically, if you give him like 100, he gives you, I believe, 300 coins in return. If you give him 200, he gives you 500 coins in return. And if you give him 300, he gives you
999.
Yeah, 999. So here is Francesca.
Yeah, so this is his daughter. You find out that they are madly in love, and she absolutely refuses to go back to her father, who forbids their love.
Yeah, so here's the glitch. So
there's 4 frames in between talking to somebody and when you can walk into.
I'm in the background.
Sorry, there's 4 frames in which trying to talk to something or use a partner, you can still move around. So what you initiate a text box when you talk to her, and then using those 4 frames, you just inch a couple pixels downward. You'll fall into the water and spawn at the north end of the screen, which saves a little bit of time on backtracking.
Didn't really save that much time because I got like, what, 4th try, but
Yeah.
it's cool to show off. So I'm buying 7 Fright Masks. I only need 5, but 2 of them are backup. Basically, how we're going to settle Chapter 3 is we're just going to be Fright Masking everything. Because most of the enemies in Chapter 3 you can just Fright Mask.
We have $5 from Seeker42, who says, "Yeah, all right, the knock-knock joke in chat got me."
I can't even see chat, so I didn't even know
There
that
was a
happened.
knock-knock joke, and the knock-knock was Don, and they said, "Don who?" And then Califon said, "Donate now."
That's good.
Oh my gosh. So it is actually possible to soft lock in this cutscene. If you basically, after this cutscene is done, if you press A too early, you'll just jump towards the Don, and you'll just be stuck. And when he tries to hand you the blimp ticket, you'll just be soft locked, and you can't do anything about it. It's happened to me before. I think the person who discovered it was N-Man. He changed his name recently. I forget.
Allegro.
Yeah, Allegro. And it was quite funny for him to see it, but I'm just going to take it safe and not press A early at all.
So you need to actually talk to the Don to get it. He's like, "You're still here? What are you doing here?" "Oh, that's right, I owe you something." So essentially, Francisca is... Francis is the guy, is the male Pianta's name, and I think his daughter's name is like Francesca or something. Or Frankie is the guy's name.
Frankie.
Francesca is like the girl's name.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So we're about to come up on the next trick, which is another pretty hard one. It requires a couple frame perfect inputs. So Ghost, if you want to take it away and explain it, you can go for it.
All right. So we're going to do a pretty big sequence break here called Teleporter Room early. And kind of just finish up what I was saying there. They came back and they begged Don Pianta. And so he's like, just go on, do whatever you want. So here he's going to actually be using paper mode to get a bit of a boost of momentum. And he's going to try and access what is called Teleporter Room early. There's a room here that you cannot get to until after you complete Chapter 7. But he's going to try and clip into the room here using paper mode and this boost of speed that you get off of this statue here, or this fountain here that's broken in the sewers.
You have to input a direction when you touch the ground, and it's frame perfect. If I'm moving like that, that means I hit it too early. And if I'm jumping and then standing still like that, that means I'm too late. So it's a little finicky, but it's not too bad. All right. Now I got to do another flurry super slide here.
This time he's using, starting off with Goombella, and then he's going to do a super slide again.
Got it.
And so this allows
There
him
we
to
go.
just kind of move around, and now a lot of things have been despawned, and he's able to clip into the teleporter room, which is actually the way the X-Nauts get from their base, which is on the moon in Chapter 7, down here. So you can only get to this by hitting this switch in Chapter 7 to get into the teleporter room. But by despawning the boundaries outside of Rogueport Sewers, we're able to clip into that room, hit the switch, and then teleport into Chapter 7.
That is a pretty hard trick. I'm glad I got that somewhat quickly. So right here, Chapter 7 isn't actually triggered until you read that red note. I don't know why it causes the trigger for in Chapter 7, but it just does. And, well, now we're in a Chapter 7 state. So we can actually complete the X-Naut Fortress, but we're not going to. We're basically going to be doing half of it, and then we're going to go to Chapter 3 to get Yoshi, and then we're going to complete it.
And so this one I've actually never asked about. So what is it that we do Chapter 7 for earlier, as opposed to just starting the first half of Yoshi first?
There's a bunch of
getting Yoshi.
cutscenes in Chapter 3, and you can avoid them by triggering Chapter 7 early.
Right. Okay. Sorry, it's been a while.
Yeah, that's cool. So I don't really do this that much, but I'll go for it since it's a marathon. There's a little jump you can get right here, which probably saved like a second. Let's see if I can get it. I didn't get it.
So there are two ways to actually know what you're supposed to do here. There is a thing on the background that tells you what the path you're supposed to take. But if you look at the floorboards, the color is slightly off on the ones that you can walk on.
Yeah.
So we need to get a bunch of card keys in order to complete this chapter.
Yeah, you can jump from that floor tile to like the platform with the card key, but I just didn't get it. It's not too hard, but I don't usually do it that much, so I don't really have that much experience with it. I've done it before, but I usually don't go for it. I just went for it because, it's a marathon. Why not? This X-Naut's in kind of a bad spot. Hopefully he won't encounter me after this. So this code's always the same, so that's good for us.
And thankfully it uses Arabic numerals instead of Chinese numbers there.
Yeah. And this quiz, we got a second one. It's always the same. It's always 3, 4, 2, 3, 1.
Hey, it's quiz time.
Another quiz. I also forgot to mention for the last quiz, it's besides questions 1, 5, and 7, it's random if he asks you, are you sure you want to answer this? So right there, he asked, are you sure? And that's just RNG. Doesn't waste too much time, just waste a little bit. But this one, it is random except for on the questions 1, 5, and 7.
I think I once got it where he asked me, am I sure, on like every question.
That's some bad RNG.
I thought it was based on your answers or something.
Nah. So we've done half of Chapter 7, and now we're just going to leave and go to Chapter 3.
Yeah, so ordinarily, in order to actually get into Chapter 7, you have to do this really, really time-consuming backtracking quest in order to essentially get a bunch of what I liken to Russian bombs, because they say things like da and yet, and they will literally shoot you to the moon via a cannon once you get a proper like navigator and the actual guy who set up the cannon. But this involves going to every area that you'd been to so far, which is a very massive fetch quest that nobody cares for.
It's really annoying.
Is there any category that still has to do General White?
I do not think so.
Thank goodness, I hate that part.
So now we're going to Chapter 3, which is a very RNG heavy chapter. I'll just let you know how RNG heavy it is. I lost, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 minutes in Chapter 3 in my PB, and my PB is still like 2:48. So you can lose a lot of time in Chapter 3 alone.
Yeah, it's a lot of the times you might think like with this run that Palace Skip is like the scariest thing. Once you get used to Palace Skip, there are certain randomness elements to it, but it's not quite as frustrating as just getting certain really bad things or really bad what is Grubba's like conditions.
Yeah.
In this chapter. Because the fights in this chapter aren't normal. Like, you do fights in the arena, and you're given a... essentially, they give you a restriction on each fight.
So I'm doing this on purpose. So when you go to Chapter 3, since we've never been to Chapter 3, right now, we're in a post, like, we're out of Chapter 3. We're in a chapter, like our sequence is in Chapter 7. But since we're visiting Chapter 3 for the first time, if we try to enter, like, the Glitz Pit, it's basically kind of thinks you just beat Chapter 3, so it won't let you in. So instead, we have to take the blimp there, then back to Rogueport, then back to Glitzville.
As a note, there are usually a few regional name changes in these games. So Glitzville in this version is called Oolong Town, so that's why there's the sign there that says that. It was changed in the North American version.
Yeah.
But we're not here to actually complete the chapter. We're just here to get the partner that you get here, which is necessary to perform a specific trick, specifically Palace Skip.
So the Yoshi color that we will get is dependent on the in-game time. Normally, it's just dependent on the moment you get the Yoshi egg until the moment Jolene closes the door after you lose the fight with the Armored Harriers. But since we kind of do things differently, it's based on your in-game time. So you can take your guess on what Yoshi color I'm going to get.
My bets are on black.
We'll see how accurate that is, as long as it's not pink. Pink is the worst color.
So normally you have to talk to that guy to get in here, but you can just kind of jump and clip in there to get past him without having to wait for him to walk by. So Yoshi can't actually read Japanese.
I can't.
And you also need to kind of memorize things quickly, so even if you could, it still comes up really quickly. You need to see what your condition is. So if you don't speak it, what you can do is learn certain symbols that have resemblances to certain things. Like the Japanese symbol for rho is just a square, and then the Japanese symbol for ko is like an incomplete square that's missing one side.
Yeah, so I pretty much memorized like all the conditions in my head. So right there, that was a very easy condition. It's just don't use FP, and the reason is because it has FP. So it's very easy to tell. So normally I would use Koops for this battle, but instead I'm going to be using Earth Tremor. But yeah, like I pretty much just memorized a bunch of symbols. So one of the symbols that kind of looks like a flag in a way, that is turns. And the symbol that is a square, it basically times. So if I get 3 square, then that means I have to appeal to the crowd 3 times. If I get like 5 and the symbol that looks like a flag, that's defeat your opponent in 5 turns or less.
Yeah, because the symbol for the symbol that he's referring to is the Japanese symbol ta, which the word for turn is just tan.
Yeah, so you pretty much have to memorize them. It's not too hard when you like kind of like practice a bunch and just try to remember them. Like I've pretty much like memorized them so much that I can just like I don't have any backup or anything. I just remember them. So okay, so right there, that's kind of a bad condition to get. So that is don't use items, and that's kind of bad because you're supposed to use a Fright Mask, and well, I can't use a Fright Mask now because I got don't use items. So I'm gonna have to take care of these KB Koopas with just a bunch of jumps, and I should have switched to Koops, but unfortunately can't. I unfortunately forgot to. So I think I'm actually going to save. Here, wait, no, I don't think. I'm just gonna switch to Koops. Gonna try and get some super guards, just to get some more damage. Nice. Alright, I'll go ahead and use Koop's Power Shell here. The one in the front should die. So yeah, this is pretty slow, but that's what happens. And I don't have any star power to use Earth Tremor because I just used it. So in this game, you for this category, you can only get 14 extra star points before you're over leveled and you can't complete the run. So right now I've got 6 extra, which is completely fine because I'm going to try and level up in Glitzville anyway. So I'm going to make sure that I play it safe. Like it's all just RNG depending on like which conditions I get don't use items and like whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and save real quickly since I got don't use items and I'm already 6 star points. Like I have 6 extra star points, so might as well take it
Yoshi
safe.
egg because we entered this chapter later. It gives this to us already without us having to do the whole little thing outside where one of your minor league friends tells you, "Hey, there's apparently they're trying to do like a fried egg hot dog at the hot dog stand outside from like some sort of egg imported from a foreign country," and of course the egg is actually a baby Yoshi waiting to hatch, and it just hops around and. You decide to become its friend, and he's like, nobody wants it. The hot dog vendor's like, you can keep it. Nobody wants an egg that's been all over the ground anyways.
So the condition I got for this one was defeat your opponents in 5 turns or less. So I'm just going to use this Fright Mask. And luckily now I've got 3 extra Fright Masks since I didn't have to use one on the KP Koopas. So in case something goes wrong, I have 3 extra now.
There's a lot of nice little things that they improved on between Paper Mario 64 and 1000 Year Door. One such thing that does help the run a little bit in situations like this is partners can also use items.
Yeah, it's a really good thing.
Shout out to SG.
That's not even SG.
I know. Every time I see a bandit, I see SG. I think of SG.
You should see a blue bandit, then that's SG.
Yeah, so Solidified Gaming is just, or we sometimes call him SG, is a glitch hunter who helped with a lot of the glitches in this game. And he also helped with a lot of glitches in Partners in Time, which is going to be tomorrow. So
unfortunately I got use a special move, so I'm going to have to appeal a bunch and then use Earth Tremor because Earth Tremor costs 2 star power and that's the lowest ability you have, so unfortunately I have to do it. That's just bad RNG. Like, this is why... Oh, you suck. You have an Ice Storm, so I'm going to switch Koops in front. So there's really no faster way to do this. I need to appeal. Don't you attack Mario. Don't you use that. Oh, you suck. Oh, joy.
It's a good thing you saved. I don't think you're in too much danger
man.
here, but... There is a slight possibility of all of them attacking Mario.
Oh, nice. So I'm going to have... Man, this RNG. Okay, they're not frozen anymore, so... I think I'm going to switch to Flurry, because Koops is very close to dead. Oh my gosh. Oh
Nice.
my god. Jeez. I'm like, this is really bad. Okay, I'm just.
You already had a full start. A full thing.
I have a life shroom, but oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. This is gonna be a very long battle. This is ridiculous. I've never gotten this bad of RNG. Please don't kill Flurry. Oh, well. There goes the life shroom. Gosh. Marathon luck, I swear. Alright, that's life shroom's okay. We don't need it. It would have been nice to have, but
As much fun as the chapter is casually in a speed
it
run,
sucks.
watching your time just dwindle because of a grubby condition.
Alright, now we can finally use a special move. After all that, we can finally use a special move. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, he had an Ice Storm, and I also got use a special move, and I needed to appeal a bunch. So that was just a bunch of stuff. So now I've got 9 extra star points. So I think I'm going to save again because I really don't want to get a bunch of extra star points, or else I'll be pretty screwed. You don't actually Fright Mask those guys, but since he spawned another Dull Bones, I got extra star points, so... Man, that was ridiculous RNG. Like, I've never gotten that before. Of course it has to happen in Marathon Run.
Can I sneak some donations in quick?
Go for it.
Okay, we have $10 from Teresa with no comment, but thank you for the donation. We have $20 from Pai Kitsune. I was going to meme, but I'm all out of memes. And then he posted a Shasta emote. Shasta. $50 from Ronze with no comment. Thank you. And $5 from Sake, who says, "Hey, Yoshizilla, good luck on the rest of the run, and here's to getting the infamous Palace Skip. Put my donation towards Drake and Josh and Knuckles." By the way, our All Dungeons incentive is more than halfway met at this point. $760 out of $1,500. So please keep donating for that. Again, that run is coming up right after this run, so we need those donations now.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I got use a special move again. That's actually so bad.
Would it be worth it to just soft reset?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't want to reset. That's just ridiculous. You Fright Mask these guys. So I just have to delay it to use a special move. Man, this is chapter 3.
This is exceptionally bad even for this chapter.
Oh yeah, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
no.
Why? Why?
Oh my god.
I'm actually getting bodied. Don't you use it. Good. I didn't mean to super guard that. Okay, I could survive these turns. Man, Jolene, you suck.
Yeah, so normally actually in this chapter, you're supposed to see a fellow by the name of Grubba. He's a clubba that runs the arena here. And there's a whole big conspiracy that goes on with this area. But once you beat the chapter, you actually kind of expose Grubba as not who he says he is. And so his assistant takes over for the arena, and that's Jolene.
I think we're gonna get like Green Yoshi possibly.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. I won't die. Okay. Let's just use a Fright Mask and get the heck out of here. So luckily, the spines will run even if they're curled up into a ball.
Yeah,
Gosh,
they
damn.
are immune to all damage when they're curled up in a ball for the most part.
This RNG is actually ridiculous. I've never gotten this bad of RNG before. I've had 2 close calls now. Well, that was really the first close call. All right, Jolene, can you kind of just die a little?
Let us a bone here, okay?
Okay, that's a good condition. That's kill your opponent before taking 20 HP of damage. I can do that. I can easily do that.
It'd be kind of hard to take that much damage
Yeah, I
at
really
this
would.
health anyway.
I think I've already taken that much damage from the last 2 battles where I got use a special move.
So I ask this of TTYD runners all the time, but I want your take. Do the guards here, are they holding their arms behind their backs, or do they secretly actually have no arms?
I have no idea, man. All right, so I've got 9 extra star points currently. Okay, you have an item, but I don't care. Just get out of here. The Pale Piranha only has like a 25% chance to run, so I'm not going to try and Fright Mask it to death. I'm just going to kill it.
And we have an Ultra Hammer that buffs our damage up to 6 on Hammer.
Yeah, so now I've got, I believe, 12 extra star points, so...
I think you've hit, so you got 6 on the first one?
I got 6 extra on the first one, 3 extra on...
But there were 4 Dull Bones.
But we don't Fright Mask those. You just kill
so
them
those don't get counted as an extra.
Yeah, except for when he spawned one.
Right.
So
that was, so I think you're at 13.
Yeah, I think I'm at 12 or 13. I think I'll be fine for this next one.
Worst case scenario, you have a backup save anyway.
That's don't switch partners. So this condition, depending on what it is, if you get don't attack with Mario, you pretty much have to super guard a bunch, because right here we're fighting the Hyper Bald Clefs, and the strat you do is you use an Ultra Hammer Spin, and if you get don't attack with Mario, you've got really no backup, and you just got super guard. But luckily I got a nice condition, so these don't count as extra star points either, because we just kill them anyway, because they're like pretty much immune to Fright Masks.
Yeah, so the Hammer Spin ability actually causes you to hit one thing into another. When you hit one thing into another, it doesn't matter what their defense is, unless it's like impervious to attack.
Yeah, so the next battle, if we get don't use items, that's completely fine. I could fix my star points if I wanted to, but it's gonna be fine. Like you like have a chance to fix leveling if you really want to, but only if you're over leveled. Like right now, I'm completely fine, so I'm just not gonna deal with it. All right, so let's don't use special moves. Thank you. We finally got a good condition.
We have $10 from Slopdop, who says, "Good luck. Hope you got the best Yoshi color."
We'll see. Might actually be green Yoshi.
I'm curious, Slopdop. What is the best color?
All right, so these guys, they die instantly with a Fire Flower, so we're just going to do that. We have so many extra Fright Masks. All right, so we are going to level up here. That's completely fine. I wanted to level up in Glitzville anyway, because it saves time for later. So we're going to level up BP once again. So I will save before this last fight. This is the last fight, and as long as I get... Well, you can still save it if you get don't use items, but I really want to be able to use items just to use the Fright Masks. So yeah, I've had to save 3 times. That's how safe I'm taking this, because I'm already at about 12 extra star points. That means I can only get 2 extra, but none of them only give 2 extra, so really, I need to save. That should be the last save in this chapter. This is not my fault. This is all RNG. Alright, let's wrap it up in 5 turns or less. Alright, so that's the last really RNG condition that we need to follow.
You'll note that he stands this particular spot by the door. If you stand too close to the door, the guard will like swing the door and will just kind of fling you away.
Alright, so this chapter 3 was pretty horrible. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like green Yoshi.
Maybe just a chance we have white?
No, it's not gonna be, because it's from the moment Jolene closes the door, and it's gonna be it's gonna be past the 2-hour mark when Jolene closes the door. So unfortunately, it's gonna be green. Yeah, this chapter really sucks. I probably lost like about 2 to 3 minutes in this chapter alone. So this next condition does not matter, because we're not going to be... Basically, how conditions work in this chapter, if you defeat an enemy and follow the condition, you rank up and you fight the enemy above you. But if you don't follow the condition, you rank up still, but you fight the enemy below you. Following that, if you fight the enemy below you and you don't follow the condition, you'll rank and you lose. You'll rank down and you'll fight the enemy below you.
I do think it's funny there. You see Jolene talking to this bat while Jolene is in the room.
Double Jolene. But since we don't need to rank up at all and we just need to get Yoshi, we're just going to mash through this condition. So yeah, this is going to be green Yoshi. Because pretty much if Julian closes the door around 159, it's going to be white Yoshi. And for 158, it's black Yoshi. But it's going to be past the 2-hour mark, so it's going to be green Yoshi.
Yeah, it sort of loops. Normally, it's after you get the egg. It's 6 minutes. The first 6 minutes is green. The next 5 is red, and then it's like 3, I want to say, for orange, 3 for pink, and then 1 for black, and then 1 for white, and then it loops around. So the black and the white are really rare.
Yeah. So it's going to be green, which is a really, really slow color. The best Yoshi color I think I've gotten it was blue Yoshi, I think.
Oh, that's right. There's blue.
Blue or orange. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, so these guys are impervious to all damage. The only attack that works in the entire game against them is Yoshi's Gulp. So.
But we don't need to complete this chapter, so we're just going to get Yoshi and peace out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for anyone who guessed green, you were right.
I could name the Yoshi if you like.
Nah, we're good.
Green is an okay color. In terms of design, it just means that the Glitz Pit did not go super well.
Yeah. So that's the default Yoshi name, which is just Yoshi.
Then this version is actually Chibi Yoshi, which is little Yoshi, essentially.
Yeah. So we got our 4th and last partner. We're not going to be getting any other partner now.
Folks, we are $738 away from meeting the All Dungeons incentive in Link to the Past Randomizer. Let's make that happen before the end of this run.
Got about an hour left.
And again, your donations are tax deductible and go towards direct relief. You've got 1 hour or so to make this happen, and I believe in you, chat. Let's make it
If
happen.
you haven't filed your taxes yet, those are due on the 17th, so you still got time to drop something and then write it off.
So I'm going to be buying a lot of point swaps from the shop. But before I do that, I've got so many extra Fright Masks, I'm going to store a couple. AKA just 1. I don't need to store 1. And now I'm going to buy 4 point swaps. And I also get an Ice Storm. So I should have 7 items right now, which I do. So the 4 point swaps, we don't need all of them, but we will potentially need to use all of them depending on how RNG goes later on. But yeah, so before we go back to Chapter 7, we're going to be taking on Frankie's Trouble to get the gold card so we can buy a bunch of power rushes, and really Mario will just be OP.
You have time for a quick donation as well.
We did get an anonymous $2 donation, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Every little bit does count. Don't feel like even if you only had $1 to pitch in, that still counts.
All right, so this is the only time we go to the Trouble Center. I once again cannot read Japanese at all, but there's like nothing like changed like compared to the Japanese and English version. Like, you know, the answers are the same for the quizzes, and the troubles, like where they are also the same. So Frankie's Trouble is just 4th from the bottom.
So what you need to do is, well, first of all, you need to pay the guard here. You can fight him, but that's slow. What you need to do is find some way to actually be able to access the casino, which in order to do that, you need a special card which lets you play a game. You need at least 1 card, but this is the fastest trouble.
Yeah, it's also the card that has power rushes. You can still buy stuff in the Pianta Parlor without the cards, but the gold card gives us power rushes, so that's why we get the gold card. And now it's time to get rich from Lumpy. So we invested 300 coins in him, and we get 999.
Hello, Charlieton.
We don't need you anymore. Got the boost sheet, second try.
Yeah, every item he has is like a 25% chance of being there, so you want to get it in a couple tries if you can.
Yeah.
So Frankie's particular trouble is that he lost his wedding ring, so he needs you to find it. He actually loses it twice, but this time it's thankfully somewhere in town.
You can actually get up there if you have the Ultra Boots, but getting the Ultra Boots is slow, so we just have to take the long way.
For a long time, I actually did not know you could walk on that wall, so it made finding that quite difficult.
Well, it's actually in a different spot in the English version too.
Right. That was why. It's like that always threw me off whenever I was watching runs of this.
I swear it was here.
Alright, so now we have access to one of the mini games. We're not going to be playing that, as much fun as that sounds.
We're going to really quickly just go in here and then leave. What that does is that prevents a crash that can happen in Chapter 7 Factory Room. It's very stupid that you can just avoid it from doing that, but
Game
that's just how it-
programming,
yeah.
everybody. Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
So I'm pretty much going to be buying a bunch of Piantas until I have 238, so you can read some donations if there are any.
We have no new donations yet, but I do want to remind people there's actually a couple of different things you're getting here if you donate. So we've got about $738 to go for this all dungeons incentive. But in addition to that, if that gets met, then in the process of that getting met, we'll also unlock the Soten incentive at $15,000, and we're getting very close to setting the record for Calithon's most money raised to date. So let's make all of those things happen here with your donations. And again, all the donations are appreciated. We're very grateful for everybody who's been pitching in here.
So you saw that he bought 3 and then 5, and then now he's buying 10. You want to have an exact amount when you buy little Pianta tokens here, because if you have any surplus, the lady behind the Pianta exchange there is going to. There's going to be a cutscene where she appears in front of you and says, "I'm just going to take those and hold on to them until the next time you get back here."
So we're just going to be buying 7 Power Rushes.
It used to be that there was a Mega Rush plus several power badges, and you would do a strat where you talk to an NPC who would set your HP to 5, or your max HP to 5, and in place of that, you would just switch it over to BP. Because what they do is they take a level from one stat and put it in another.
So there we go. Now we can just leave. And before we go to Chapter 7, we're going to really quickly pick up a badge. But we're also going to equip... Oh, that's the wrong menu. We're going to equip... Oh, wow, I didn't even go down there. Rip. Going to equip 6 of our Power Rushes.
So you're not supposed to get to this pipe until Chapter 7. Well, just before Chapter 7. You need at least the Ultra Hammer.
So we're going to come here to real quickly get Double Dip P. We're not going to forget it like a certain someone. So now we're going to go back to Chapter 7 and actually complete it this time.
Thankfully, the door is open once we've activated the teleporter at least once.
Yep. So we're going to immediately take the elevator down to sub-level 3 to get the last card key and then go to the factory room.
Also, shoutouts to one of the best themes in the game.
So there's an interesting glitch coming up that you can do with Yoshi. So there's these platforms that move around, but if you get on Yoshi and then immediately get off of him, the platforms go by fast. Now, there's only 2 in the Japanese version. In the English version, there's 3, so it's a little safer in the English version. But Japanese one is just cooler because it's like there's only 2, so let's hope I can get it. Oh man, I went too fast there. Get over here, Yoshi.
I believe this has bigger width and moves slower on the English version.
No, you can do the same glitch on the English version, but there's just 3 tiles instead of 2.
Right.
Oh man, almost didn't get it there. So now we're gonna have another glitch coming up called conveyor belt skip. If you want to explain it, Ghost.
All right. I'll get when we get to it. So, in order to move on in this chapter, you need certain partners that we do not have. So we're going to actually use a glitch here called conveyor belt skip, in which we activate a
That should be
encounter. We get first struck by this guy throwing chemicals at us in order to sort of clip into here. And this is going to allow us to get past the boundary that we otherwise would need either Bobbery or Vivian for. I don't remember exactly who.
good. You need both, technically.
Yeah, you need Bobbery to hit that switch and then Vivian to go underneath.
So we got first try, so that was really good.
Yeah, that was great.
So let's hope we don't fall in the background, because you waste a lot of time if you fall off these platforms. Oh man. Think I can make... Nah.
Gonna go for the Yoshi save block cover?
Nah. There's no reason to do it.
That used to be an old hard strat for this.
Yeah, there is a trick that you can do with the Ultra Boots called the background skip, but since we don't have the Ultra Boots, we have to go all the way back through the background, so it's a little unfortunate, but it's whatever. Okay, I'm going to try and save. Yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure I can't make this cycle now. Actually, no, I can.
Yeah, there actually is a trick there. You could Yoshi hover onto the save block, and then jump, and then you use a ultra jump to get onto one of those moving platforms.
Oh dang! I
But
should've
since we
just
don't
waited.
have ultra jump in this category, we don't go for it.
You can get a speed swap here, and like I should have gone for it the first time because I knew I wasn't gonna make it, but I missed it the second time. So I wasted a little bit of time, but it's whatever. So this is where you can crash in Chapter 7, but since we went to West Side Goods, it won't crash.
All right.
So yeah, we're in Chapter 7. We're skipping a lot of the Crystal Stars.
Yeah, it's the second half of Chapter 2, all of Chapters 4, 5, or sorry, second half of Chapter 3, all of Chapters 4 through 6, and the first half of Chapter 7, which is the annoying part of Chapter 7, so it's
Oh
good.
yeah, definitely.
So this is Magnus Von Grapple 2.0. It's a little bit more dangerous, deals a lot more damage with his attacks. And he also has 70 HP.
So we're just gonna get to 5 HP with Mario and just jump. We have to do 2 4 bounces to kill him.
So while he does have way more HP than we reasonably should be able to deal right now, we do have a ton of power rushes. So at low hit points, we're just doing ridiculous sums of damage with Power Bounce.
We've now got one more chapter to go, which is pretty much the scary chapter. Feel free to read any more donations if there are.
Not seeing any at the moment, but once again, chat, I'd like to remind you that you can donate for the Link to the Past Randomizer All Dungeons run. And again, we're running out of time on that. We need $738. Once again, $738 more dollars. Sorry, I think I cut out there. To make that happen. So let's get the rally going right now. Even a small donation can help make that goal a little bit more achievable. So let's make it possible.
So in Chapter 7, Grotus actually takes Princess Peach in order to complete his final objective, which is why, although we are where we saw Princess Peach, she is no longer here.
So we only have a Bowser cutscene.
Yeah, so this is a cutscene in a place that we get to at the end of Chapter 6. Inside this museum is a crystal star, and Bowser got wind of this, so he wants to go and get it.
There's a door that's locked, so Bowser throws a temper tantrum, and it opens.
Mm-hmm.
So Bowser thinks...
finally got a crystal
Yep,
star.
he thinks he's done it. But it's actually just a red herring.
And it turns out, quote-unquote, Mario has already grabbed the real one. Which you are supposed to do, but
Not
sequence
really.
breaks. So here this Goomba comes in to tell... I also like how he lands on the penguin's head. He comes in to tell Bowser that Mario has collected all of the crystal stars and is headed for the 1,000-year door. And Bowser's like, I want a piece of that. And so Bowser's finally going to catch up with us.
Yeah, we collected all the crystal stars.
Quote unquote.
Oh my goodness, we have a big donation. Can I read it right now?
Go for
Certainly.
All right, everybody. We have an anonymous $738 donation.
it.
Yo.
Nice.
And the comment, yes, thank you so much. The comment is, it's dangerous to go alone, take this.
Thanks so much.
And with that, I believe the intent was to put that towards the All Dungeons run, so that does meet the All Dungeons incentive for Link to the Past Randomizer.
Have we broken
Looks like
last
we're-
year's Calathon
We're
record?
160 off from that, it looks like.
Yep, we're very close to beating that record. 161 more dollars will do it, but thank you very much for that generous donation.
Make it happen by the end of this run.
So now we're speaking to Tech. What happened in the in this facility is now that everyone has left, power is running out. So Tech is trying to wire his last bit of power because he's connected to the mainframe of the electricity of this place. So he's going to send it all into the teleporter room so that we can go and save Princess Peach. It's sort of like his, G-rated dying wish.
So really, if you didn't know there was a teleporter here, well, now you know because of Tech. And for whatever reason, if you try to go to the teleporter without talking to Tech, the doors are all locked, so you can't actually.
For whatever reason.
The game's like, no, you must talk to Tech. Rip Tech.
So there's a flash of light of the final teleport before the facility goes offline. A lot of people, I think, thought it was an explosion as a kid. So now if you try and hit the switch, you can't go back. You can actually in the post game if you needed to collect anything anything there. This game is really good about making sure there's nothing that is lost forever. So here's our pal Frankly, who's back to join us for not really. Also, it turns out again this is a Frankly imposter. We won't really see who he really is because that character gets skipped and the fight in which we would fight him gets skipped. But
can I jump in with a quick donation here?
go for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
That's good.
I believe this is worth noting. So let's just see if everybody in the building can hear this. But we have a $169 donation from Ash the Husky, who says, "I heard there was a record that needed breaking, and I believe with that donation we have set a new Calithon record for most money raised." Thank you to everybody who's been donating. We still obviously have plenty of content left, so let's keep raising that money and make it even harder next year to break the record again.
Let's get to 20K. Next stop.
Let's do it.
By the end of this run.
So we got all the crystal stars, guys.
I'm being informed this is a Calithon world record.
Yo.
So yeah, we only collected 3 crystal stars, but we got all 7. So
You only really need the last one.
yeah. So now 1,000-year door is opening.
So if anyone is curious, through cheat codes you can get out of bounds to try and get behind the 1,000-year door, but it doesn't actually have a loading zone until you initiate this cutscene. So as much as you could say, like, why don't we just clip into the 1,000-year door? Well, you
can't. I've seen many people just saying, "Hey, I've got an idea. Let's clip into the 1,000-year door." It's like you can't, because loading zones don't actually exist with doors until you open them. So with that, we are now entering Chapter 8, and there's approximately half an hour to like maybe 40 more minutes of the run left, depending on how everything goes in Chapter 8.
We did get another anonymous $20 donation, followed by another anonymous $20 donation. So thank you, everybody, for continuing to pitch in. And even though we did meet the All Dungeons incentive, there still are bid wars going on for which character sprites you want to see for Link to the Past Randomizer. Currently, the Cactuar from Final Fantasy is winning for Vulujan's character, and Luigi is winning in the other bid war for Fant's character. So check out those incentives still.
So we're finally in Chapter 8. So
this is the Palace of Shadow.
yep. So we're getting that stopwatch there. We don't need it at all. Like, we're not going to use it, but we will need it to fill up our items to 10, because it's going to be required for Palace Skip.
Yeah, so the thing with the 1,000-year door, which we haven't really touched on what exactly the 1,000-year door is. 1,000 years before, a great cataclysm befell Rogueport, and many people lost their lives, etc. And everything from that town was basically buried under rubble. And that actually became the Palace of Shadow here. So you find out in several Peach cutscenes that we didn't do what really is going on. The X-Nauts want to use the power that is in the Shadow Palace, which is actually a sealed demon that was the cause of the cataclysm 1,000 years prior. So he wants to get the Crystal Stars in order to release the demon and take over the world. Or the X-Nauts do, and Grotus, of course, being the leader.
So right here, this is another HRG you can do. You just hover with Yoshi, and then you appear right here. So here's another glitch coming up, which is called Firebar Room Skip. So we don't have tube mode, so there's no way for us to actually get past this room, but we can encounter this enemy, and basically... Uh-oh, missed it. We can encounter him and then basically run away from the battle and use invincibility frames to get past the fire bars. So that should work. Also, there's another glitch I did called Gold Can Skip. I'm happy I got that. So basically what happened there is you can go between the bullet bills.
Oh,
Wow!
That should never happen. I'm not going to say it's never happened before, but that should never happen.
All right, good. We got past them. All right, so yeah, as I explained, you can run between the gold bullet bills, but you can do a skip with by basically going into paper mode, and you can, if you're in a specific spot, you can inch between the gold bullet bill blasters, and it skips an encounter. So that was pretty cool.
That's the biggest example, I think, of, along with Ultra Hammer early, of why we would use paper mode to lower the size of our hitbox.
So I put on some more power rushes, and we're just going to do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, so these guys have a pretty decent amount of defense and a lot of HP.
And we're just going to use this shooting star. And, well, we got a lot of star points from this battle.
Yeah, the Blue Bones has, I want to say, like 20 health or 15. No, you did 15, so it's like 20 health. So there's a 98 star points for a complete level up.
All right, so we're coming to the scary part now. So, all right, so I'm going to level BP once again. There's 2 more gold can skips I can actually do. The next one's a little challenging. I'll try my best to see if I can get both of them. 3 for 3 would be awesome, but I got at least one, so I got to show it off. So with this Ultra Shroom, it's going to be useful for Pal Skip, and it also makes us have 10 items.
Yeah, so one of the prerequisites in order to perform Pal Skip, which is by far the biggest skip, and also why we
I'm 2
can
for 2.
And why we can skip so many things that we would otherwise need to complete the game, is because this skip allows us to. Partially, it's because it allows us to skip Riddle Tower, which is a puzzle room in this game, which is sort of a trial that forces you to use basically every puzzle-solving ability you have.
3
in the
for
game.
3. Let's go.
Yo, nice.
Got all the gold can skips. Those aren't that hard, but it's just kind of a little weird getting the right step. All right, I am at 10. I'm just making sure. So
we have a prerequisite if we need all 10 items, because part of the glitch is going to involve an item drop, and we need to have an item on the field. And when we have that item on the field, if we were to pick it up, we can't hold all of our items, so we just throw. So we'll just throw one away, and that being thrown away will allow us to manipulate its position. So this room here, again, it's another room. There's another staple of the Paper Mario series, is a room in which there's sort of like it's sort of like a loop. If you go down the wrong pathway, you'll start over at the beginning. Here you need to notice which, whether the top floor or the bottom floor has the torches in order to know which one you're supposed to go on. Yoshi has it memorized, so thankfully he doesn't have to worry about that.
it's down, down, up, up, down, up, down.
I believe the pattern's like similar in the first game too. It's like down, down, up, up, down, up.
In the first game, it's down, down. I actually forget. It's like down, down, up, down, or something. Or not. No, it's not. There's no down at the last one.
Yeah. I really like this screen. It just looks so cool.
Too bad we're not going to be doing anything in it.
Yeah. There's a boss that you would fight on here, and there's an interesting boss skip where you can jump around it, and that would actually used to be one of the, it was like a multiple minute saver late in the run that you only really had one chance at.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask that you hold off on reading donations for now, because
this is the single most important thing in the entire speed run.
Pretty much. And someone said, I forget who it was. I think it was Muzz said, this run is blessed now to get first try. So we'll see if that is true or not.
Yeah, so ordinarily the sequence here is you need to fight a boss at the end here in order to get into the Riddle Tower, and then you get into the Riddle Tower in order to solve a bunch of puzzles to lower the floor here. In this coming room, there is going to be a couple of enemies, but there's also, way below the screen, there's a loading zone for a section later on in the dungeon. If we get to that, we're able to skip all of Riddle Tower, and as well as the boss. And so that is just a huge amount of things that you otherwise would need that you can skip. So the reason
I forgot to equip Item Hog. I just realized that, so...
well, maybe we might get lucky.
Nah, we're not going to risk that. I wish I had Item Hog on, but I just realized I completely forgot to equip it.
So Item Hog doubles the chance that an enemy drops an item. The reason this is so important is the chances of an enemy dropping an item are fairly low. With Item Hog, it increases it to, what is it, 21%?
Yeah, about 21. If they're holding an item, then it increases to about 30% chance. Now, he was holding an item, so hopefully he's still holding it, maybe? Nice. Okay.
So that's just a spike pouch. We don't need it.
Yeah, but we just need an item drop. So first try item drop would be nice. But if I don't, I just simply have to reset.
Yeah, so this is the most randomness to this trick is the item drop.
Yeah, it could take a while. So yeah, no item, so I just have to reset. So I'm pretty much going to be resetting until I can get an item. Hopefully it doesn't take like 20 minutes because it can take a long time.
We have a backup save in like an absolute disastrously worst case scenario, but hopefully we won't need that.
Yeah. So yeah, you really can't do anything about this. You just have to keep reloading until you get an item, which is many runs die to this. Like I currently hold the world record, and the only reason it was world record was because I got first try. I'm dropping my run.
Well, that and everything else. There was a lot of things that went decently. This isn't the only thing in the run, but this is something that can save or lose you several minutes.
Yeah.
So. Come on. Hey, second
nice.
try. Nice.
Okay, I will take that. Okay. We got our trusty mushroom. So now what we're going to do is we need to basically place the item at the edge of the Ember zone. And I'll let Ghost explain this next part.
Yeah, so we need to, there's a 50-50 chance it'll either go to the left or right. We need to set it up on a specific position, and this is going to be the location of the loading zone. We need to set it up on the edge of the Ember zone because we're going to have to trigger an encounter here. And what he's doing here is a series of neutral jumps. And he's going to press X and then use those 4 frames that I've mentioned earlier to activate Goombella and cause her to like slide over. And this is going to enable text storage, which is necessary. So second try there. So he's going to initiate a fight with this text on the screen, so it's going to carry over into the fight. So he's going to run away. Unfortunately, he can't really mash too much here, so it's kind of
RNG.
luck whether he gets out of here. He needs the text up on screen.
Run away. All right, so I got a super guard. If Goombella dies, that's completely fine. Dang. Oh, gosh. I knew that was going for Mario. Oh, come on. That's not going to run away either. Bad RNG. Really bad. All right, this should run.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to be doing a glitch that's relatively new. It basically allows you to keep the item on screen forever as long as you don't collect it. So it's really useful for marathons. I usually don't fool around with this when I'm going for RTA attempts. All right, so the item's going to stay on the screen forever, so that's really good. So if I fail this, then I can just pick up the item and get it again.
So here he's going to do a spin, because when you do the spin with the hammer, it adjusts Mario's hitbox. And what this is going to do is clip, I believe it's going to clip him onto the back seam of the wall here.
All right, I'm going to ask for silence right now. We can explain this after.
Yeah.
One frame early.
Okay.
So I do a different method than I usually do. This TV has slight overscan, and I do have a visual cue, but like I think I can tell that this like has slightly overscan. I can still like do the trick, but I just have to do it a different way. So sorry, I couldn't get Pal Skip first try for you all.
So what he's doing is he's pushing Yoshi's position behind the wall, and then he's going to do a frame-perfect Yoshi hover. It's based on timing. That's just why you see him stop in the menu there. Okay, got the Goombella text box again.
Yeah. Kind of sucks I didn't get first try, but
You're
whatever.
close.
Yeah, one frame. Oh wait, no, I don't want Mario in front. Oh, Goombella's in peril. Please run away.
Oh.
Dang. This might run.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll go for a second go. But yeah, like I have a visual cue, but since this TV like is just a little different from the one I have at home, just kind of have to deal with it. Like I did practice. I don't think that's gonna work actually. Oh wait, no, that did. But yeah, this TV is just a little different from the one I have at home, so I kind of have to, like, I had to practice, and like hopefully it won't take too long for me to get. I was really close. I could maybe still try to do my original method, but I just need to delay it a little more.
So this trick actually causes him to duplicate items.
One frame really again.
Yeah, so duplicating that item allows him to get infinite ultra shrooms for this for the purpose of this trick.
Dang. So that's a little unfortunate. Hopefully I'll get it sometime soon. I really don't want to have to boot up like the backup file. Like I got the item very quickly, so I should have some time. I'm really close. I just need to delay it a little more. This is a frame perfect trick, so.
Yeah, he's literally trying to do something after a delay with a 1/60th of a second speed.
I'm just gonna disappear. You can read a donation or two while I'm setting up the item again.
Looks like we're still sitting at about the same there, but we do have, again, the Link to the Past randomizer character sprites are still up for bids, but those bids will close at the end of this run. So if you want to make a bid to try and change the character sprites for Link to the Past randomizer, you need to get that in before this run completes.
All right, good. The Ember noticed me. Sometimes he just won't notice you, and it's really weird.
So the biggest reason why that text box delay is important, like why he does those neutral jumps to get Goombella there, is this allows objects on the objects to not be paused whenever you use Goombella's overworld ability. Nice.
Alright, got all three. Dang, this isn't gonna run either. Bad RNG on these runaways. No. Gosh. Dang. Goombella's dead. Rip her. That's okay. Alright, hopefully I run away. Screw this. Oh, that would have run away actually, but I did not want to risk it. Like, all right, so I'm gonna be. This is a trick I'm doing called Sword Glitch. Allows you to use an item and like without consuming it.
Oh, sorry, I said item duplication earlier.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's okay.
Let's use items without actually using them.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna use this to heal Mario and Goombella. Like, I would have still ran away, but it didn't look like I was going to. And if I die with Mario, then I would have had to grind for the item again. So I just did not want to take a risk in that, like, because I got really lucky with second try item drop. And like, if I reset, it could be like, you know, 8th try item drop. So I really hope I can get this trick, like. Oh man, it's RNG which way the item goes when you throw it, and it's wanting to go to the left.
Six wrong coin flips. There we go.
There we go. All right.
Because the position of the item really matters.
Gosh dang. This isn't running away either. Gosh. Oh,
Oh, it
never
is.
mind. Okay. Didn't look like I was going to. Alright, I gotta do the same thing to keep the item on screen forever. Oh, I don't think I got it. Get over here. Sorry about this. Man.
There's not much you can do when Palace Skip decides to be mean.
Alright. Well, it's also me messing up the teleport. Oh, I didn't rotate enough. So I have to run away. Hopefully the game will actually let me run away. This runaway RNG is actually ridiculous. Alright. Third tries the charm, hopefully. Got it.
Yes!
All right. Now all I need to do is just hold between up and upright, and that should get Palace Skip.
I almost thought it was going to not let you
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
All right.
That trick took over a year of theory crafting, and
It took over 3 years.
3 years
on and off.
And if I recall correctly, Malio was trying that for Task Malio, who eventually finally performed the glitch for real for the first time, and did a lot of work on it. He streamed that for like a long time, and he had I think well over 100 viewers just watching him just try this glitch in Task Tools over and over again until he finally got it, and it was actually a really big moment for the community, but also just speedrunning in general, finding this humongous trick.
So that's the last glitch of the run. So was not first try, but hey, at least I didn't need to use the backup file. So I'm perfectly fine with that, because I was getting a little nervous because I was off by 1 frame twice in a row, but luckily I was able to get pulled off.
Yeah, so now we are at endgame. There are going to be 3 more bosses for the rest of the run.
Yep.
And that's basically everything.
Yeah, so this will still definitely be underestimate. It may even still get sub 3, possibly. I don't think it can, but maybe it will.
We did get $100 from Game for Life 10, who said,
Oh my gosh.
"Ill Zil."
That guy is really generous.
Yeah, thank you very much for that donation.
Yeah, he's come into my chat and cheered a bunch of bits to me. He's actually so generous. So here's Grotus. So we're going to be using Power Bounce to kill him. So we're not in danger, but luckily Grotus's attack, Lightning, will put us in danger.
So the gimmick around this fight is he sets up these little robotic eyes that shield him. For each one that is up, he takes 1 less damage, and you'll summon 2 of them every turn. So you kind of have to take care of them if you really want to do regular damage in a casual playthrough. However, we have 7 power bounces equipped, so even though he has +2 defense right now, it's really not hard to deal with him. So
Pretty sure I was only supposed to do 5, but
yeah, that was a little overkill. In fact, I think you only, if you're doing 14, I think you only have to do 4 hits there.
No, because he has some defense, so you need to actually do 5 bounces.
Right.
So, yeah.
So now he reveals that he kept Peach behind a giant piece of paper that turned out to be background.
Yep. And right now, I'm just really glad I got Palace Skip.
So this is casually one of the hardest fights in the run if you don't know what you're doing, because what's going to happen is right as we're about to be finished, we get, oh, you'll see. We get another boss fight right after, and you don't get the chance to heal in between these two. And finally Bowser catches up.
There's Bowser.
It's the most useful thing he's done this entire game.
So yeah, Pal Skip saves about 80 minutes.
Yeah, it would save us from having to get all kinds of resources.
Yeah, Pal Skip is really what brought this game down to sub 3. The runner by the name of Sork was the first to actually get world record with Pal Skip, and also the first to get sub 3 with Pal Skip. Really, Sork was the only one who could get Pal Skip really good. So here's Bowser. Yeah, we just kill him. So it's RNG who Cammy attacks. I prefer if she attacks Flurry, but if she attacks Mario, I have a life shroom. Alright, so that's good.
And finally, you get some luck your way.
I just did 5 bounces there just in case. I'm pretty sure you only need 4.
Yeah, she has 50 HP. Bowser has 80?
80, yeah. So here's our last level up. And what are we going to level up? BP.
Another important thing with the route is you notice how low level we are. We're like, I want to say 6 right now?
I think level 5?
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
One of the things that's nice with being this low level is you never have to worry about hitting level 10, which at level 10 your stage gets bigger, and then that starts creating fog hazards. So a lot of things actually get avoided by playing this game at a pretty low level.
So I ate that life stream on purpose because you really don't need it for anything, and it just wastes time if you have it. So yeah. Anyway, we're coming to the final boss, which is it has a bunch of cutscenes.
Yeah, it's about a minute boss and 7 minutes cutscenes.
Yeah, so you can read some donations before we fight Shadow Queen, if there are any.
When I say 7 minutes, probably more than that, actually. I just guessed.
Yeah.
We did have one donation here quick that was from Cake. It was $10, and the comment was sick.
Alright, so Grotus is finally unsealing the treasure, quote-unquote, that we thought was in the palace, which is actually a 1,000-year-old demon by the name of the Shadow Queen. And the reason he's offering Peach is he needs... the princess serves as the perfect vessel for the Shadow Queen to reemerge and, you know, wreak havoc. Of course, Grotus wants to control her power, but as we know in a lot of, you know, RPG-type stories, trying to control a being way more powerful than you
Not a good idea.
doesn't work out very often.
Yeah, not really a good idea. So yeah, there's a lot of cutscenes. So yeah, nothing too interesting. So I guess I'll just talk about like kind of how Pal Skip got found. So basically, we knew that there was a loading zone there, and we used to do. There's a category called Levitate %, and you do Pal Skip with Levitate. You just levitate over the wall and just walk across the seam and enter the loading zone. But then we wondered, couldn't we do this without you know, cheats? So really, for 3 years on and off, we were trying to find a way to get out of bounds. And the funny thing is on April 1st, we got out of bounds, and it was so funny to announce because, like, Malio, Really Tall, and Solidified Gaming all had to, like, say, we are perfectly aware it is April Fool's, but this is actually legit. And then 2 days later, on April 3rd, we got Pal Skip. And then I forget how long after that, but I want to say like maybe a month after, an RTA method got found for Pal Skip. So yeah, the main two people that found Pal Skip was Really Tall and Solidified Gaming. So shouts to them for finding this game-breaking glitch.
So now we see all these cutscenes of these locales that we never went to.
Yep. And all the NPCs are there.
I like how Crump is there because he's not like you haven't actually cleared that chapter, so he's there and like everything has shadow effects, but I don't think they ever gave his sprite a shadow, so it's just like bright and it stands out
Yeah.
from everything else.
And so is Flavio.
Good old Flavio. Flavio's cheering you on.
Nah, he's just. Oh yeah, so right here, since we did Power Skip, Gloomtail is still there, and like that's where the game puts Frankly, the real Frankly, when they have that cutscene. Just put it in Gloomtail's room. So yeah, Grotus wants to try and control the Shadow Queen, but not happening.
That doesn't actually kill him, by the way. You see in a post-game cutscene, he's just
just
a
a
little
head.
just a little head talking to his minions. Oh hey, it's really tall.
There's really tall. All right, so if you don't want a game over, you can just select the top option.
Yes.
You can mash A or B, and you will not select the bomb option. You have to input down an A in order to become her slaves.
Yeah, so she gives you the option to become her slaves and serve her for eternity, or refuse. It's not a but thou must. It will create a non-standard game over to
All right,
do
good.
that.
That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, so this first phase of Shadow Queen, you need to deal half her health, which is 75 damage.
I don't think I needed that much damage, but I just did it for safety anyways.
And she's going to release her true form.
I think I only needed like 4 or so. So this is her invincibility form. You can't do anything. So really the strat is to just attack her for 3 turns. And use a boost sheet on Mario. No, not double dip. So Koops is at 6 HP, so if anything attacks Koops, he will die. And that's actually faster, because then you don't have to menu with Koops at all. So hopefully she kills Koops. No. Attack Koops.
The boost sheets are kind of the most broken thing in the world. They make you impervious to damage
Dang.
for 2 turns.
Come on, Koops. No offense. I, kind of like you, but I need you to die to save time.
It's such a harsh thing to wish on your friend.
Man, he's not dying.
He is dodging all the slaps.
Man. Alright, well, unfortunately, Koops didn't die. Rip. Alright, so we attacked her for 3 turns, and now she's, invincible. Oh, so here's another glitch. There's a little glitch that I can do right here called Paper Mode Ending, and it's got to be very hilarious. So all you have to do is just hold R, and you go into paper mode. And it ends. It's pretty hilarious how, what happens. It's actually slower on the Japanese version. It wastes like 6 seconds or something if you do it on the Japanese version. Anyway, if you have any last-minute donations, you can read them right now before we complete the run.
Okay, we do have a couple donations. We have $50 from Circusness, who says, keep up the good work for a great cause. And $20 from Worm Talon, who says, as promised, $1 per sanity effect in the Eternal Darkness run, plus a few extra because I like round numbers. Good job so far, everyone. Let's keep it up for the rest of the marathon. And once again, I want to remind everybody that this is your last chance to donate for the character sprites in the Link to the Past randomizer coming up right after this run. You need to get those donations in before this run is complete. And currently, we're looking at Kakchuar for Vuligin's character at $194, and Luigi for Fant's character at $312. But there are other options that are hanging in there, so definitely check those out. You could possibly overtake those with maybe Esperterra or Mega Man X. Lots of options out there, so go ahead and check those out and get those donations in. You could be the sniper who morphs the character sprite at the last second.
I always like this theme here. Just like
Yeah,
a
it's a
side
pretty good
note, it's
theme.
very Victorian, very uplifting, which is sort of the point of every character you've met in the game so far cheering you on. It would be great if it wasn't for the fact that Shadow Queen is casually probably the hardest boss in the game. So if you die against her, you have to see all this again.
Oh, so, shoutouts to Nintendo, there's a Shady Koopa there, and he's supposed to be the KP Koopa that you talk to in Chapter 3, but Nintendo, for whatever reason, got the wrong texture. So it's actually a Shady Koopa and not the KP Koopa.
So the characters who do not have the shadow under them are characters who do go to this island at one point in the story, but since we never went to this island, they were never supposed to be here, so they were never given like a dark texture. So it just has this interesting little contrast.
Yeah, they never have a dark texture, so yeah.
I'm probably misusing the word texture there, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
So this cutscene's a little interesting because this penguin calls you Luigi the entire game. Kind of a little bit of reverse respect because people always call Luigi Green Mario. And so in this cutscene, he finally finds out that your name is not Luigi, so he finally calls you Mario. So these guys just get every bomb in town to wish Mario
Every
good
bomb.
luck. Just love the little sprites there with the Russian bombs with like the little hats.
Yep. So yeah, we're in paper mode still. And I'm not holding R at all. You only have one frame to go into paper mode, but if you just hold R, you'll just automatically go into paper mode. It's pretty hilarious. So with the power of the Crystal Stars, we're going to be able to fight Shadow Queen, and Peach is actually going to be healing us.
Which kind of is bad because we do need to be low HP here, but it only burns a turn, so
Yeah, it's okay. And we need the FP anyways.
that too.
Yep. And we are completely healed.
Also one of the better themes in the game.
Yeah, so we are now on the final boss. So before everyone freaks out, I'm going to fail this action command on purpose because I need to waste 3 FP. So don't worry. So I'm now going to be using a boost sheet, and I'm going to be using a point swap, and this will put Mario at 3 HP. So now with this, we just need a 6 and a 5 bounce, and she will die. Yeah. All right. Koops is dead, finally. That didn't really save any time, though, but it's whatever. All right.
Too little, too late.
So she didn't heal, so with this... we kill her. That's Shadow Queen. Time is not yet. Time's going to come in a couple minutes.
So, I like how this game is programmed that every battle gives you 1 star point no matter what. So the final boss just gives you 1 star point as a reward.
Yep.
Which would be pretty funny, I think, if you level up on the final boss. It's like, what do I even need this for anyway? Although this game does have a pretty interesting little post-game with some little things you can do as well.
Yep. So there we go. That is pretty much the end of the run. From here on out, it's just a couple of cutscenes, and then time will happen soon. So I'm just going to take this time to shout out some people in the TTYD community. So shout-outs to Malio, who made many tasks of this game. I don't even know how many. I think it's like around 7 or so. People can correct me if I'm wrong. But he's made a lot of tasks, and the current task is a 216. So he's very close to getting sub 2. We just need to find one more big skip. Shouts to Really Tall and Solidified Gaming, who found most of the tricks shown in this run. Also, look at paper mode; it's just hilarious. Look at that. So, also shouts to some of the runners. Shout out to Sorik and Almo, who pretty much are also the guys that mainly run any % Japanese. We've all traded off the world records at one point, so it's been a pretty wild ride. Shouts to some of the English runners, Red to Go, Vanive, Max Hillman, Evan44, Ed58. Ed58 and Evan have done Japanese runs before. They mostly do English though, but they've also done some runs of Japanese, which is pretty cool. Shouts to Piston Miner, who he's done a lot of reverse engineering in this game and just kind of figured out a bunch of codes and crap. Like, he's really smart with all this stuff.
You recently found a
Yeah, he found a debug. In fact, I actually forget. I want to show that off, which won't take that long. So if anyone can actually, some of the people who are watching will probably know. Spam my DM or ghost DM, the combination that you press, so I can do it, because I want to show it off. But also shoutouts to Zephylos, who he's done some runs of this game. He hasn't done any recently, ever since Skip got found. But he's always a resource-heavy guy, and he's put a lot of the resources on the website. So he's pretty cool. And also the Official Christian and Ed58 have made some practice saves. Mainly Ed does it now, but Christian used to do it in the past when he used to run this game. I'm trying to get him back to run this game, but he still refuses. But yeah, hopefully I didn't forget anything, but just pretty much shouts to the whole Paper Mario community as a whole. They're a great community, and if you're interested in learning this game, don't be scared. It may be hard, but it's very fun. It's very fun.
Shout out to Scallython for taking this run.
Yeah, shouts to Calithon for taking this run. We're going to get underestimate, so that's good. That's all that matters. Ghost King, has anyone spammed your DMs what the combination is?
Do you need me to pull it up?
Sure. Spam. Yeah.
I've got it here if you need it.
Oh, are they spamming in the chat?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and.
XBRVYL.
All right,
There
you're
you
gonna
go.
make sure you remind me so I can show it off. Yeah, after time, I'm just gonna show off something real quickly that will take like just a minute or so.
Yeah, we don't need to go through the credits. Although the credits in this game are still really good. You kind of see like
Yeah.
every NPC you saw, and just a very
Yeah, it is 5
relaxed,
minutes long though.
yeah, very relaxed kind of musical theme.
Yeah, and since we're kind of still a little behind, we're obviously not gonna watch the credits, so I'll just load a file. So Mario's still in paper mode. So overall, this run was kind of got destroyed in Chapter 3. Skip could have been better, but at least I got it, which is all that matters. Would have been cool to get first try, but unfortunately, didn't get first try. But hey, I got it third try, so like that's good enough. The main thing is we didn't have to load up a backup save, and we didn't have to mercy kill this run. Pretty much worst case scenario, if I spent a lot more time on Skip, I would have ended time at Shadow Queen instead. But since we're going to be underestimate with this, we'll be good.
Yeah, so for a while, this game used JRTA timing, which is Japanese speedrun timing, which is from like either reset or file start to end of credits.
Also, here's 2 of the partners we did not get.
But yeah, since it's not end of since they recently have changed it so that it ends on final input, I believe.
Yeah, credits used to be, or timing used to be end of credits, but the community decided it's just 5 minutes of nothing. So we end time on the Irish wipe, which it just fades to black. So yeah, it's going to be coming up in roughly a minute and a half or so. So get ready on time.
So this whole cutscene is kind of just showing the world of the game now that you've cleared everything. All your friends are off doing their own thing, and apparently this guy's back. I don't know how they get electricity wired to the moon, but sure.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, time's coming up in roughly 30 seconds. So yes, it was a really good run for a marathon. I'm glad I got Skip, and I'm glad I got to show this off.
So they decide to set off on another adventure.
Yep. Alright, that's the last input. Get ready on time. Time.
Good show. All right.
304. That's what I expect with what happened in the run. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna really quickly reset and show off something real quickly, and then we can get on to the next run. So what was the combination, Ghost King?
XBRBYL on the title screen.
All right, here.
Somehow this game that's 14 years old, nobody found this.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna really quickly just load this tile screen, and then so XB.
Get that one
Okay.
XBRBYL.
XBRBYL, and I just hold Z. So right there, it shows pretty much when the game was like I forget exactly what Pistomeyer says, but it's when like the platform was made or something. And this is actually useful because it can basically show kind of crash reports. And I'm gonna really quickly do a crash to end this run off. So
It's
I
the
just
only
loaded it
real
right-
appropriate way to finish
Yeah.
a run of this game is to find one of its
Yeah.
many crashes.
There we go. So normally there would just be an annoying buzz, but with the debug mode, it does that. So that's it for me. That's Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
All right, and we do have a couple more donations that came in at the end of the run there, so I'll read those now. We had $50 from All-in-One Mighty, who said, have to donate for the character sprite I made. Here's $50 for Tara Esper. If she ends up getting selected, I'll donate an additional $50 during the run. Then we had $20 from Ash the Husky, who said, ain't gonna snipe my cactuar, no siree. And $20 from Miria with no comment. We thank you for all of those donations, and just a reminder that the sprite incentive is now complete. So I believe with the final totals added up there, it looks like we have Luigi as Fant's character for the randomizer coming up next, and then it looks like Cactuar took the lead at the end there. We'll double check the totals there to make sure that's correct, but I believe it's going to be the Cactuar for Villagin. And you guys did meet the all dungeons incentive for the randomizer, so that will be a part of this as well.